After 5 years, the millionaire spots his ex. The boy beside her is his mirror image. Hello, viewer. Thanks for joining us. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments, along with the city you're watching from. Now let's continue with the story. Patrick Moore stands at the floor-to-ceiling windows of his Seattle penthouse, a cup of black coffee cooling in his hand. The city spreads below him, a kingdom of glass and steel that means nothing at all. His phone buzzes. Marcus Reed's name flashes on the screen. "Morning, Patrick. Just confirming you're still coming to Portland today. The investors want to meet at 2. Portland. The word alone makes Patrick's chest tighten. He's avoided that city for half a decade, turned down dozens of meetings, rerouted business trips, but this deal is too important to delegate. "I'll be there," he types back. He sets the phone down and opens the drawer beside his bed, the one he thinks no one knows about. Inside, a single photograph lies face up. Jessica Carter smiles at the camera, her hazel eyes bright with laughter, her chestnut hair catching sunlight. Patrick traces the edge of the photo with his thumb. 5 years of searching, 56 months of dead ends and false leads. She vanished like smoke, and his mother swore she didn't know where Jessica went. His mother lied. Patrick discovered that 6 months ago. He closes the drawer and heads to the shower. The hot water does nothing to wash away the familiar ache in his chest. Across the state, in a modest apartment in Portland, Jessica Carter jolts awake to the sound of her alarm. She slaps it silent and groans. 6:30 already. How is it possible that she just fell asleep? "Mommy!" She smiles despite her exhaustion. Ethan's voice, bright and demanding, filters through her bedroom door. "Mommy, it's my birthday. You said we could have pancakes." Jessica throws off the covers and pads into the hallway. Her son stands in his dinosaur pajamas, his dark hair sticking up in 17 directions. His jade green eyes, those heartbreaking, unmistakable eyes, shining with excitement. "Happy birthday, baby," she says, scooping him into her arms. He's getting too big for this, but she holds on anyway. 4 years old today, 4 years of raising him alone. "I'm 4 now. That means I'm big." "You're very big," she agrees, carrying him to the kitchen. "Big enough for chocolate chip pancakes." "Yes, and can I have orange juice too?" "Anything for the birthday boy." She sets him at their small table. Bills cover the counter, electricity, rent, Ethan's preschool tuition. She stacks them quick, hides them under a cookbook. "Not today." "Mommy, when I'm bigger, will I have a daddy?" Jessica's hands freeze over the mixing bowl. This question comes more and more now. She's prepared her answer, practiced it 100 times. "You have me, sweetheart. Isn't that enough?" Ethan considers this, his small face serious. He looks so much like Patrick in that moment that Jessica has to turn away, focus on stirring the batter. "I guess so. But Tommy has a mommy and a daddy, and they both came to his birthday party." "Well, you have me and Aunt Allie and Aunt Sarah. That's 3 people who love you very much." "I know, and today we're going to the cafe for my cupcake." "That's right. After your school, we'll go to Blossom Cafe and you can pick any cupcake you want." "Can I get the one with the dinosaur on top? If they have it, yes. What if they don't have it? Then you pick your second favorite." "My second favorite is chocolate." "What's your favorite, Mommy?" "My favorite is watching you be happy," Jessica says, and means it with every piece of her heart. It's not much, but it's what she can afford. A cupcake at their favorite cafe, a small present she's been saving for, a homemade cake tonight with Allie and Sarah. It's enough. It has to be enough. As Jessica flips pancakes, Ethan chatters about dinosaurs and his friends at preschool. She nods and responds, but part of her mind drifts where it always drifts, to Patrick, to what might have been, to the choice she made 5 years ago when his mother sat across from her with that check and those cold, calculated threats. She shakes her head. "No," She made the right choice. She protected her son. That's what mothers do. They sacrifice everything, even the love of their life, to keep their children safe. "Mommy, you're not listening," Ethan complains. "Sorry, baby. Tell me again about the T-Rex." And he does, his words tumbling over each other, his hands making dinosaur shapes in the air. Jessica watches him and thinks, as she does every single day, "You were worth it. You're worth everything." Patrick's driver navigates through Portland's late-morning traffic. The city looks the same. The bridges, the trees, the casual blend of hipster coffee shops and tech startups. Patrick stares out the window and remembers walking these streets with Jessica, her hand in his, laughing at something ridiculous she'd said. "We're early, sir," his driver says. "Would you like to stop somewhere? Just drop me at that cafe on Morrison," Patrick says, pointing. "I'll walk to the meeting from there." He needs to move, to clear his head before facing investors. He's been distracted all morning, memories of Jessica crowding every thought. Portland does this to him. She's everywhere here, a ghost in every corner. The cafe is crowded with the lunch rush. Patrick orders coffee he doesn't want and scans the room for an empty table. And that's when time stops. She's sitting by the window. Jessica. After 5 years of searching, of wondering, of dreaming, she's 30 feet away, laughing at something a small boy beside her is saying. Her hair is longer, pulled back in a ponytail. She wears jeans and a simple sweater that probably cost $30. She's beautiful. She's here. She's real. Patrick's coffee cup slips from his fingers, crashes to the floor. The sound makes several people look up, including Jessica. Their eyes meet. He watches color drain from her face, watches her body go rigid, watches her arm move instinctively, protectively, around the little boy beside her, the little boy who turns to see what his mother is staring at, the little boy with dark hair and Patrick's jade-green eyes, with Patrick's crooked smile and sharp chin and the exact expression Patrick wore in every childhood photograph. The cafe noise fades to a distant hum. Patrick's heart hammers against his ribs. His legs move without his permission, carrying him across the room. "Jessica," he says, and his voice sounds like it's coming from someone else's body. "We need to leave," Jessica whispers. She stands, pulls the boy up with her. "Right now, Ethan. Come on." "But Mommy, you said I could finish my cupcake." "Ethan. His son's name is Ethan." "Jessica, wait. No," she hisses, plants herself between Patrick and the child. "You need to leave us alone." "How old is he?" Patrick can't stop staring at the boy, at his own eyes looking back at him with pure curiosity. "Mommy, who is that man?" "No one, baby. We're going." "Jessica, answer me. How old is he?" She meets his eyes, and Patrick sees 5 years of pain and fear and exhaustion etched into her face. "4, she whispers. "He just turned 4. Today." Patrick's knees nearly buckle. 4 years. She's been raising their son alone for 4 years. While he searched for her, while he grieved her, while he built his empire into something that would impress her if she ever came back. Why? The word comes out broken. "Why did you leave? Why didn't you tell me?" "Mommy, why does that man have my eyes?" Ethan asks, pressing against Jessica's side. His eyes are green like mine. The question hangs in the air. Jessica's face crumbles for just a second before she rebuilds her walls. "We can't do this here," she says. "Not in front of him. Then where? When?" "I don't—" "Ethan," they both turn. A woman with short black hair and sharp eyes pushes through the cafe crowd. Ali Chen, Patrick remembers. Jessica's best friend who never liked him, who saw through his expensive suits to the coward underneath. Ali takes one look at Patrick, and her expression turns glacial. "You," she says, puts herself beside Jessica. "You need to back off." Patrick's chest tightens. He wants to argue, to demand his rights, but the terror in Jessica's eyes stops him. This woman raised his son alone while he had everything, money, power, resources, and used none of it to find them in time. "Aunt Allie," Ethan brightens, reaching for her. "It's my birthday. Mommy got me a cupcake." "I see that, sweet boy," Allie says, but she's still glaring at Patrick. "Hey, how about you come with me for a few minutes? Let Mommy talk to this person." "But my cupcake? We'll take it with us? Come on, I saw a toy store down the street. Let's go look at dinosaurs." Ethan's whole face lights up. "Dinosaurs." Jessica hesitates, her hands on Ethan's shoulders. Patrick can see the war on her face, her desperate desire to run versus the knowledge that running won't work anymore. Not now that he's found them. "It's okay," Allie says softly to Jessica. "I've got him. Take your time." Jessica nods, kisses Ethan's forehead, whispers something in his ear. Ethan hugs her tight, then bounces over to Allie. They leave together, Ethan chattering about T-Rexes, completely unaware that his entire world just tilted on its axis. The moment the cafe door closes behind them, Jessica sinks into her chair. She buries her face in her hands. "You shouldn't have come back to Portland," she says, her voice muffled. Patrick sits across from her. His hands shake. He flattens them on the table. "I never stopped looking for you. I know, that's why I kept moving. That's why I changed everything. My name, my phone number, my life." "He's my son," Patrick says, and the words feel surreal. "That little boy. Ethan. He's mine." "Yes. You were pregnant when you left." "Yes. And you didn't tell me. You didn't give me a chance." Jessica's head snaps up. Her hazel eyes blaze with fury and pain. "A chance? Your mother gave me $50,000 to disappear, Patrick. She told me that if I didn't take it and run, she'd destroy me. That she'd take my baby and leave me with nothing. That the Moore family would crush me like an insect." Patrick feels like she's driven a knife into his chest. "What? So, yes, I was pregnant. And yes, I took the money. And yes, I ran, because I was 24 years old and terrified, and I believed her. I believed she would do exactly what she threatened." "My mother paid you to leave," Jessica laughs, "but it's bitter. You didn't know. Of course you didn't know. She told me you wanted me gone, that you were relieved to be rid of me." "That's a lie," Patrick says, his voice rough. The words hit him like physical blows. His mother, the woman who raised him, who taught him about honor and legacy and duty, she paid the woman he loved to disappear. She stole his son from him. "I searched for you. For 5 years I've had investigators. I know. They almost found me twice. That's why I moved to Portland from Eugene." Patrick runs his hands through his hair. His perfectly ordered world is collapsing. His mother did this, paid Jessica to disappear, threatened her, kept his son from him. "She's dead," he says. "My mother. She died a year ago." Something flickers in Jessica's eyes. Not satisfaction, just exhaustion. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. When I was settling her estate 6 months ago, I found bank records. A $50,000 check made out to you. I didn't understand it then, but I kept looking. And now you found us." Jessica finishes. "And everything changes. I want to know him," Patrick says. The desperation in his voice surprises him. "I want to know my son. I missed 4 years. I can't—" His voice breaks. "I can't miss any more." "Patrick, please," he says, and he hates how he sounds, but he can't stop. "Please. I know you had reasons. I know my family, my mother." He swallows hard. "I know I failed you, but Ethan is innocent in this. He deserves to know his father." Jessica's eyes fill with tears. "I was trying to protect him, from your family, from your world, from everything that could hurt him. I understand, but I'm not my mother, Jessica, and I'm not going away. I can't. Not now that I know." They sit in silence. Around them, The cafe continues its normal rhythm. People order coffee, chat about their days, check their phones. None of them know that Patrick's entire life just changed. That everything he thought he understood was built on his mother's lies. "I need time," Jessica says finally, "to think, to figure out what this means. I don't want time. I've lost enough time." "But you can't just—" She stops, takes a breath. "You can't just walk into our lives and expect everything to change instantly. Ethan doesn't know you. He doesn't even know you exist." "Then let me change that. Let me meet him, really meet him." Jessica stares at him. He can see her mind working, weighing options, calculating risks. "I'll agree to meet with you," she says slowly, "to talk about this. But not today. Today is his birthday. I'm not ruining that for him. Tomorrow then. Tomorrow." Patrick pulls out his wallet, extracts a business card, writes his personal cell number on the back. "Call me," he says, sliding it across the table. "Tonight, tomorrow, whenever. But call me, Jessica, because if you don't, I'll find another way." She takes the card, her fingers trembling. "That sounds like a threat. It's a promise. I'm not losing either of you again." Jessica stands, and Patrick stands with her. They're close now, close enough that he catches her scent, something simple and clean, jasmine maybe. Close enough that he can see the gold flecks in her hazel eyes, the freckles across her nose, all the details he's tried so hard to remember. His hand twitches with the urge to touch her face, to prove she's real. 5 years of searching, and she's standing right here, close enough to hear her breath catch. "You already lost me, Patrick. 5 years ago, when you chose your family over us. I didn't choose anything. I never knew. It doesn't matter now," she says, but her voice wavers. "What matters is Ethan. That's all that matters. Everything else is just history." She walks toward the door, then turns back. "That little boy in there," she says, and now tears spill down her cheeks. "He's the best thing that ever happened to me, and I've spent 4 years terrified that someone would try to take him from me. So if you want to know him, if you want to be part of his life, you're going to have to prove that you deserve it, that you're thinking about his needs, not your rights." "I will," Patrick says. "Whatever it takes." Jessica wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. "I'll call you tonight, after Ethan's asleep. We'll figure out how to do this." "But Patrick—" "Yeah, please. I did this to protect what's worth fighting for. Don't make me regret finally stopping the fight." Then she's gone, pushing through the cafe door into the Portland afternoon, leaving Patrick standing alone among strangers, his coffee cold and forgotten, his meeting in 15 minutes. His entire world has shattered and reformed in the shape of a 4-year-old boy with jade green eyes. Patrick looks down at his hands. They're still shaking. He has a son named Ethan, who carries toy dinosaurs and asks questions and doesn't know his father has been searching for him across 5 lost years. And starting tomorrow, nothing will ever be the same. Jessica's hands shake as she unlocks her apartment door. Ethan races inside, still chattering about the toy dinosaur Aunt Allie bought him. He doesn't notice his mother's pale face or the way she leans against the doorframe, trying to breathe. Patrick. After 5 years of running, of hiding, of building a life where he couldn't find them, he found them in a cafe. On Ethan's birthday. Those jade green eyes staring at her across the room, recognition dawning like sunrise, devastating and inevitable. "Mommy, can I play with my new T-Rex?" "Yes, baby, go ahead." Ethan disappears into his room. Jessica slides down the wall, sits on the floor of her tiny hallway, and lets herself shake. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. "We need to talk. Tonight, I'll come to you or you come to me, but we're talking today." Patrick. Of course he got her number. He probably had it 10 minutes after she left the cafe. Money and power open every door, unlock every secret. That's what his mother understood. That's what Jessica never had. She types back with trembling fingers, "Laurelhurst Park, 8 o'clock. Come alone." His response is immediate. "I'll be there." Jessica drops her phone and presses her palms against her eyes. What has she done? What choice did she have? The moment Patrick saw Ethan, saw those unmistakable eyes, the truth became inevitable. You can't hide genetics. You can't hide a miniature copy of a man's face. Her chest tightens. 5 years of building walls, of creating distance, of convincing herself that running was protection, all of it crumbling in one chance encounter. She should have known, should have left Portland, should have kept moving. But Ethan loves his preschool, has friends, has stability. How many times can you uproot a child before the damage becomes permanent? "Mommy, are you sad?" She looks up. Ethan stands in the hallway, clutching his T-Rex, his face worried. "No, baby. Just tired. Was that man at the cafe the reason?" Jessica's heart clenches. How do children always know? "Come here." Ethan climbs into her lap, all warm weight and love. "That man," she starts, then stops. "How do you explain this to a 4-year-old? He had my eyes," Ethan says, "green like mine." "I know. Why?" "Sometimes people have the same eyes. It's a family thing." Ethan processes this. "Is he my family?" Jessica's throat closes. She can't lie. Not about this. "Yes, he is. Is he my daddy?" The word hangs between them. Daddy. The word Ethan has asked about 100 times. "Yes, he's your daddy." Ethan's eyes go wide. "Really? The man with green eyes? Really? Where has he been?" How does she explain that she's the reason they were apart? It's complicated. Adult stuff. But he wants to meet you. Really meet you. Spend time with you. When? Soon. I'm talking to him tonight. Ethan throws his arms around her neck. "I always wanted a daddy. Tommy said daddies teach you to ride bikes and play catch." Jessica hugs him back, blinking away tears. "Yeah, daddies do those things. Will my daddy do those things? We'll find out together, okay?" "Okay." Ethan wiggles free and runs back to his room, absorbed in his game, his world rearranged with childhood ease. Jessica stays on the floor, wondering how everything changed so fast. Her phone rings. Ali. "How are you holding up?" Ali asks without preamble. "I'm meeting him tonight, at the park. Want me to come? I can hide in the bushes with pepper spray." Despite everything, Jessica laughs. "No, I need to do this alone. Can you watch Ethan?" "Of course. I'll come get him at 7:30. Yeah." He looked wrecked. Patrick, when he saw Ethan, like his whole world just exploded. It did. So did mine. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe you both needed an explosion. Jessica doesn't answer. She's not sure Ali is wrong. Patrick sits in his hotel room staring at his phone. 8 o'clock, Laurelhurst Park. 4 hours to figure out what to say to the woman who disappeared with his son. He calls Marcus. "I found her," Patrick says when Marcus answers. "Jessica, you found Jessica. And my son, I have a son, Marcus, 4 years old. His name is Ethan." Silence. Then, unbelievable. "My mother paid her to leave $50,000, threatened to take the baby, to destroy her. Of course she believed her. Your mother could be terrifying." Patrick stands, paces to the window. Somewhere in this city, his son is living a life Patrick knows nothing about. "I should have protected her," he says. "Should have made Jessica feel safe enough to tell me she was pregnant. So what are you going to do?" "Whatever it takes. I'm meeting her tonight. And then I'm going to be a father." After he hangs up, Patrick searches for Jessica Carter online. There's not much. She works at Oakwood Elementary, teaches 3rd grade, no social media, no digital footprint. She made herself invisible on purpose. He finds a school website with staff photos. There she is, smiling at the camera, surrounded by 8-year-olds. 3 years in Portland. Before that, Eugene, moving, hiding. Raising their son alone because Patrick's mother made her believe she had no choice. Patrick closes his laptop. His mother is dead, beyond his anger. But if she were alive, he's not sure what he'd say. That she destroyed the only real thing in his life. That she stole his son's first steps, first words, first everything. His phone alarm buzzes. 7:30. Time to go. Jessica sees Patrick before he sees her. He stands under a street lamp at the park entrance, hands in his pockets, shoulders tense. He's still wearing his business suit, though he's lost the tie. He looks out of place among the joggers and dog walkers, a figure from another world. Which he is, which he always was. She approaches slow, deliberate steps. He turns, and even from 10 feet away, she can see the pain in his eyes. "Thank you for coming," he says. "I didn't have a choice. You made that clear." "Jessica, don't. Just don't. We need to talk about Ethan, not about us, not about the past. Just Ethan." Patrick nods, but something flickers across his face. "Hurt, maybe?" "Good. She's been hurting for 5 years." They walk in silence toward a bench overlooking the pond. The evening air is cool, carrying the scent of grass and water. Jessica sits as far from Patrick as the bench allows. "Tell me about him." Patrick says, "Everything. I want to know everything." Where does she even start? He's obsessed with dinosaurs, knows more about them than I do. He's in preschool at Little Explorers, and his teacher says he's reading at a first-grade level. He makes friends easily, but gets his feelings hurt when kids are mean. He hates broccoli and bedtime. He asks a million questions about everything. Her voice breaks. Patrick's hand moves toward hers, then stops. He asks about you, she whispers. About his father. All the time. And I never knew what to say. How to explain that I took him from you before you even knew he existed. Why? Patrick's voice is rough. Why did you believe my mother? Why didn't you come to me? Jessica laughs. Bitter. Come to you. Patrick, your mother summoned me to her office, sat me down in that leather chair across from her massive desk, told me I was pregnant with a Moore heir and she wouldn't let some working-class nobody raise her grandchild. She knew you were pregnant. You told her before you told me. I didn't tell her anything. She had me followed, had doctors confirm it. She knew before I'd even taken a home test. Patrick's face goes white. She had you followed. And then she gave me 2 choices, take $50,000 and disappear, or refuse and watch her destroy me. She said, Jessica stops. Even now, 5 years later, Victoria Moore's words still cut. What did she say? Patrick asks. That you deserved better, that I was a phase, a rebellion, nothing serious, that once there was a baby involved, you'd do your duty to the Moore name and take custody, that I'd be deemed unfit, no money, no family support, no resources, and I'd lose my child anyway. At least if I took the money and ran, I'd have something. I could give Ethan a life. And you believed her. Of course I believed her. Patrick, you never introduced me to your parents. Never brought me to family events. We met in secret, like I was something to be ashamed of. Why wouldn't I believe that when it mattered, you'd choose your family over me? The words land like punches. Patrick flinches. I was planning to tell them. I was waiting for the right time. There's no right time to tell your family you're dating someone beneath you. I knew it then. You weren't beneath me. You are. Don't tell me what I was to you. I was a secret. Something exciting. The teacher from the wrong side of town who didn't fit your world. That's not true. When were you going to introduce me to your mother? Bring me to a charity gala? When were you going to say, this is Jessica, the woman I love? Silence. Patrick stares at the pond, jaw working. I thought so. I loved you, he says at last. I did. I do. I've loved you for 9 years, Jessica. From the moment you spilled coffee on my laptop at that cafe and laughed instead of apologizing. Patrick remembers that day with perfect clarity, the shock of cold liquid, Jessica's horrified face melting into helpless laughter, The way her eyes sparkled with mischief and mortification. He'd fallen in love right there, standing in a puddle of coffee, watching this woman refuse to take herself too seriously. And he's been in love ever since, through 5 years of absence and silence, and wondering if she was alive or happy or thinking of him at all. Despite herself, Jessica remembers. She'd been so mortified, and Patrick had looked so surprised. And then she'd started laughing at the absurdity of it, and he'd laughed too, and no, she can't go there. Love isn't enough, she says. Not when you're too scared to fight for it. I know. I failed you. I failed both of you. But Jessica, I didn't know. About Ethan, about my mother's threats, about any of it. When you disappeared, I thought... His voice cracks. Jessica forces herself not to look at him. I thought you realized I wasn't worth the trouble, he continues. That you saw who I really was and left. I've spent 5 years believing you chose to leave me. I did choose, Jessica says. I chose Ethan. I chose to protect my son from a family that would have taken him from me. Maybe I was wrong, maybe you would have fought for us, but I couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk losing him. He's my son too. The words hang in the air. Jessica feels them like a weight on her chest. I know, she whispers. I missed 4 years, first steps, first words, first day of preschool, 4 birthdays. I can't... He stops, and when Jessica turns to look at him, there are tears on his face. Patrick Moore, CEO, billionaire, man who controls everything, crying in a public park. I can't get those years back, he says. Can't hold him as a baby or hear his first laugh. That's gone, because of my mother's lies and your fear and my failure to make you believe I'd choose you. All of that is gone. Jessica's own tears start. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting him. But I took you from him. And him from you, and I don't know how to make that right. Let me know him now, Patrick says, turns to face her. Please, I'm not asking for custody. I'm not threatening legal action. I'm begging you. Let me be his father. Let me try. I told him tonight, Jessica says, about you. He asked if you were his daddy, and I couldn't lie anymore. I told him yes. Patrick's breath catches. You told him? He's so excited. He wants to know when he can see you, what you'll do together. Patrick, he's been asking about his father his whole life. And now he knows you exist and want to meet him, and I can't. I won't keep you apart anymore. It's not right. It was never right. Thank you, Patrick says, and his voice breaks completely. Thank you. They sit in silence, both crying, the distance between them on the bench, both nothing and everything. I found out 6 months ago, Patrick says after a long pause, about what my mother did. I was settling her estate and found bank records, a $50,000 check made out to you. I couldn't understand why, so I dug deeper, found evidence she'd been tracking your movements, hiring investigators, and then I understood she paid you to disappear. And you've been looking for me since then. Before then, I never stopped looking. But once I knew the truth, I got angry, furious. At her, at you, at myself. She died. Jessica. My mother died, and I couldn't confront her, couldn't make her answer for what she did. She was gone. And I was left with this rage and nowhere to put it. Jessica understands that feeling, the anger with no target, the grief mixed with fury. I was angry too, she admits, at her, at you, at everything. I used that anger to survive. When I couldn't pay rent or Ethan got sick, and I had no insurance or I worked 3 jobs and still couldn't make ends meet. Patrick's jaw tightens. You struggled, while I had billions. I'm a teacher with a baby. Of course I struggled. That's not your fault. I should have found you sooner, should have questioned my mother when you first disappeared. We can't change the past, Jessica says. We can only decide what happens now. Then let me help. With money, support, whatever you need. I don't want your money. Jessica, I don't want your money, Patrick. I'm not going to take a check and do what you want. I've built a life for Ethan and me. It's not fancy, but it's ours. I won't let you buy your way into it. That's not what I'm trying to do. Then what are you trying to do? Patrick runs his hands through his hair. I don't know. Be a father. Make up for lost time. Prove I'm not the coward I was. Prove I'd choose you and Ethan over everything. My family name, my company, every dollar I have. Jessica stares at him. Prove it how? However you need me to. Whatever it takes. Tell me what you want, Jessica. Supervised visits, lawyers and custody agreements. Just tell me. I'll do anything. I just need to know my son. She studies his face, the expensive suit, the exhaustion in his eyes, the desperation in every line of his body. He's telling the truth. She believes that, but belief isn't trust, and trust is what they both destroyed 5 years ago. Supervised visits, she says at last. You can see Ethan, but I'm there. At least at first, and we take it slow. Let him adjust. Let me adjust. Okay. Yes. Whatever you want. And Patrick, if you hurt him, if you disappear or lose interest or decide being a father is too hard, I will never forgive you. Do you understand? Ethan has spent 4 years wondering why he doesn't have a daddy. If you make him feel abandoned, I won't, Patrick says, fierce. I swear to you, Jessica, I won't abandon him. Or you. The last 2 words hang between them. Or you. As if they're a package deal. As if Patrick wants them both. Jessica can't think about that. Not now. Maybe not ever. Tomorrow, she says. Stands. Come to our apartment at 10. We'll figure it out from there. Patrick stands too. They're close again, and Jessica can smell his cologne, cedar and something darker, the scent that used to cling to her pillow after he left. She can see the flecks of gold in his green eyes, can count the new lines around them that grief and searching put there, can remember what it felt like when he looked at her like she was everything. Her pulse jumps, traitor heart recognizing him, wanting him, even now. Patrick's gaze drops to her lips for half a second before he catches himself. His hands clench at his sides, the instinct to reach for her written in every tense muscle. 5 years of searching, and she's standing right here, close enough to hear her breath catch, close enough to touch. But he can't. Not yet, maybe not ever. Thank you, he says, voice rough, for giving me this chance. Jessica nods and walks away before she can say something she'll regret. Before she can admit that seeing him again hurts as much as she feared. That part of her, the stupid, hopeful part she thought she'd killed, still wants him. But wanting isn't enough. Not when there's a child involved. She'll let Patrick meet Ethan. Let him try to be a father, but she won't let herself fall for him again. Some things are worth fighting for. Ethan is worth fighting for. Patrick more. She's not sure yet. Patrick arrives at Jessica's apartment at exactly 10 o'clock, holding a gift bag that suddenly feels ridiculous. Inside, 3 dinosaur books, a stuffed T-Rex, and a construction truck. Too much, not enough. He has no idea what 4-year-olds like. He knocks. Jessica opens the door, and for a moment they just stare. She's wearing jeans and a soft blue sweater, her hair loose. She looks tired, beautiful, guarded. Hi, he says. Hi, come in. The apartment is small but clean, filled with comfortable chaos. Toys in a basket, crayon drawings on the refrigerator, a photo collage showing Ethan at various ages. Patrick missed all of it. Ethan's in his room, Jessica says. He's been up since 6, asking when you'd get here. Patrick's chest tightens. He's excited, nervous, excited. He doesn't really understand what's happening, just that his daddy is coming to visit. Jessica, don't just be good to him. That's all I'm asking. Before Patrick can respond, Ethan appears in the hallway. He's wearing a dinosaur shirt and clutching a plastic stegosaurus. His jade green eyes, Patrick's eyes, are wide and curious. Hi, Ethan says, Shy now that the moment is here, Patrick crouches down to his level. "Hi, Ethan. I'm your dad, Patrick." "I know. Mommy told me." "She did?" Ethan nods, takes a step closer. "Are you really my daddy? For real?" "For real," Patrick says, and his voice breaks slightly. "I'm so happy to meet you." "Me too. I always wanted a daddy." Patrick blinks back tears. Jessica watches from the doorway, arms crossed, jaw tight. "I brought you some things," Patrick says, holds up the gift bag. "I didn't know what you liked, so I guessed." Ethan's eyes light up. "Presents? Can I?" Patrick asks Jessica. She nods. Ethan takes the bag and peers inside. His gasp of delight when he sees the books makes Patrick's heart soar. "Dinosaurs! Mommy, look, dinosaur books!" "I see, baby." Ethan pulls out the stuffed T-Rex next, hugs it immediately. "He's soft." "What's his name?" "I don't know." "What do you think his name should be?" Ethan considers this with the seriousness of a judge. "Rex, because he's a T-Rex." "Rex is a perfect name," Patrick says, smiling. "And look, a truck, Mommy. He got me a truck." Jessica's expression softens slightly. Patrick catches her eye, and something passes between them. Gratitude, maybe, or the beginning of trust. "Ethan, why don't you show Patrick your other dinosaurs?" Jessica suggests. "Okay, come on, Daddy." The word hits Patrick like a physical blow. Daddy. This little boy just called him Daddy, and Patrick didn't earn it, doesn't deserve it, but wants it more than anything he's ever wanted in his life. He follows Ethan to a small bedroom dominated by a toddler bed and overflowing toy boxes. Ethan starts pulling out dinosaurs, explaining each one in detail. Patrick sits on the floor and listens, genuinely fascinated not by the dinosaurs, but by his son's animated face, his enthusiasm, his intelligence. This is a triceratops. He has 3 horns, and this is a brachiosaurus. He's really tall. And this is a velociraptor. They hunted in packs. "You know a lot about dinosaurs," Patrick says. "I know everything about dinosaurs. I'm going to be a paleontologist when I grow up." "What's a paleontologist?" "Someone who studies dinosaur bones." "Duh." Patrick laughs. "This kid, that sounds like a great job. What's your job?" "I work with money. I help companies with their businesses." Ethan wrinkles his nose. "That sounds boring." "It kind of is. Dinosaurs are much more interesting. They play for nearly an hour." Jessica appears in the doorway several times, watching, her expression unreadable. When Ethan starts to tire, Jessica intervenes. "Snack time, buddy. Let's give Patrick a break." "But we're playing." "Patrick will still be here after snacks. I promise." They move to the kitchen. Jessica puts out apple slices and crackers. Ethan chatters about his dinosaurs, about preschool, about his friends. Patrick listens, asks questions, and tries not to stare at this miracle child who shares his DNA and his love of asking endless questions. "Do you like dinosaurs?" Ethan asks Patrick. "I do now. You're teaching me." "Good. You didn't know very much." Jessica hides a smile. Patrick feels it like sunshine. "Ethan, eat your apples," Jessica reminds with gentle firmness. "Can Patrick stay for lunch?" Jessica and Patrick's eyes meet. She hesitates. "If it's okay with your mom," Patrick says with care. "It's fine," Jessica says after a pause. "We're just having sandwiches. Nothing fancy. Sandwiches are my favorite." Patrick lies. He can't remember the last time he ate a sandwich. They have lunch at the small kitchen table. Patrick watches Jessica make peanut butter and jelly with the practiced ease of routine, and something in his chest aches. This is what he missed. Not just the milestones, but this, the ordinary moments that make a life, the lunch making and the conversation and the belonging. Jessica feels his eyes on her, measuring, absorbing. She wonders what he sees. The threadbare dish towels, the mismatched plates from the thrift store, Does he pity her modest life, or does he finally understand what she built from nothing, from fear and $50,000 and sheer determination not to fail her son? So, Jessica says, sitting down with her own sandwich, "How's work?" "Complicated. I cancelled meetings today." "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did. This is more important." Ethan looks between them, sensing adult undercurrents he can't quite understand. "Are you going to live with us now?" he asks Patrick. The question hangs heavy. Patrick sees Jessica tense. "Not right now," Patrick says with care. "But I'm going to visit a lot, as much as your mom says I can, every day." "We'll see." "Would you like that?" "Yes, then you could read me stories and play dinosaurs and—" "Ethan," Jessica interrupts, soft but firm. "Let's take things slow, okay? Patrick has his own home and his own job, but he'll visit when he can." Ethan pouts but nods. Patrick wants to promise every day, promise to move in, promise everything, but he reads the warning in Jessica's eyes. Slow. Take it slow. Don't make promises you can't keep. After lunch, they go to the park. It's awkward at first. Jessica walking beside Patrick, Ethan running ahead, but Ethan's excitement is contagious. He shows Patrick how high he can swing, how fast he can run, how brave he is going down the big slide. "Watch me, Daddy, watch." Patrick watches. He commits it all to memory. The way Ethan's hair flies when he swings, the gap-toothed smile, the fearless climbing. "He's amazing," Patrick says to Jessica. "I know. You did this. You raised him to be this happy, this confident, all by yourself." Jessica's jaw tightens. "I did what I had to do. I'm not criticizing. I'm in awe. You're an incredible mother." She looks at him, surprised. "Thank you. I mean it. He's everything, and that's because of you." For the first time since the cafe, Jessica's guard drops completely. Tears fill her eyes. "I was so scared," she whispers. "When he was born, I was terrified I'd mess him up. That I wouldn't be enough. That he'd grow up feeling like something was missing. He knows he's loved. That's what matters. But he did grow up feeling like something was missing. He asked about you all the time, and I didn't know what to say." Patrick's hand moves to hers without thought. She doesn't pull away. "I'm here now," he says. "I can't change the past, but I'm here now. Mommy, Daddy, come push me." They walk together to the swings. Patrick pushes Ethan, marveling at the simple joy on his son's face. Jessica watches, and Patrick catches her smiling. Later, when Ethan is occupied with the sandbox, Patrick's phone rings. "Marcus, I should take this," he tells Jessica. "Work thing." She nods. Patrick steps away. "Marcus, what's up? Where are you?" "The investors have been calling. They want to move up the Portland meeting. Tell them I'm not available." "Patrick, this is a $40 million deal. And I'm with my son. They can wait." Silence. Then, "You're serious?" "Completely." "Okay, I'll handle it. How's it going?" Patrick looks over at Ethan, who's building a sandcastle, and at Jessica, who's watching their son with fierce love on her face. He stops, unable to find words. "It's everything." "Good. Don't screw it up." "I won't." When Patrick returns, Jessica raises an eyebrow. "Everything okay?" "Fine. Just work stuff. You can go if you need to. I know you're busy." "There's nowhere I'd rather be," Patrick says, and means it. The afternoon passes in a blur of playground adventures and dinosaur facts and slowly building comfort. By the time they head back to the apartment, Ethan is holding Patrick's hand on one side and Jessica's on the other, swinging between them, laughing. At the apartment door, Patrick hesitates. He doesn't want to leave. Doesn't want this perfect day to end. "Can we do this again?" he asks. "Tomorrow," Jessica considers. "Tomorrow I'm working. But maybe Wednesday. We could go to the Children's Museum. Yes, the museum, Ethan bounces. They have real dinosaur bones. Wednesday then, Patrick says. I'll be here at 10. Actually, Jessica says, pick us up at 9:30. It'll be crowded by 10. Patrick nods, heart full. She's including him, planning with him, trusting him, inch by inch. Say goodbye to Patrick, Jessica tells Ethan. Bye, Daddy. Ethan hugs Patrick's legs. See you Wednesday. Patrick crouches down, hugs his son properly. See you Wednesday, buddy. Thank you for teaching me about dinosaurs. You're welcome. You're a good learner. Patrick laughs through tears. When he stands, Jessica walks him to the door. Thank you, he says, for today, for giving me this chance. You did good, Jessica admits. He likes you. I like him. I love him. I know. I can see it. They're close again, like at the park. Patrick can smell her shampoo, something floral and clean. Jessica, I don't, she says softly. Not yet. Let's just focus on Ethan, okay? One step at a time. Patrick nods. One step at a time. He can do that. But standing this close, he notices everything, the way her pulse flutters at her throat, how her pupils dilate slightly when she looks at him, the catch in her breath when their fingers brush passing Ethan's jacket. His body remembers hers, every curve and preference, 5 years of muscle memory flooding back. He wants to kiss her, wants it so badly his hands shake. But he forces himself to step back, to respect her boundaries, to earn his way back inch by painful inch. Jessica watches him retreat and feels relief mixed with something dangerously close to disappointment. Part of her, the part she's tried so hard to bury, wanted him to push, to kiss her, to prove he still wants her beyond Ethan, beyond obligation. But that's foolish. They're not those people anymore. They can't be. He's halfway down the hall when Jessica calls out, "Patrick?" He turns. "You're going to be a good dad," she says. "I can tell." The words carry him all the way back to his hotel, where he sits on the bed and looks at photos he sneaked of Ethan at the park. His son likes him. And Jessica might someday trust him again. It's not forgiveness. Not yet. But it's a beginning. And Patrick will take every beginning he can get. The next week becomes a pattern. Patrick comes every other day, respecting Jessica's boundaries while trying to compress years into hours. He learns that Ethan hates peas but loves carrots, that he's scared of thunder but not lightning, that his favorite color changes daily. Patrick also learns how to be present, how to sit on the floor and really play, how to read stories with funny voices, how to listen when a 4-year-old explains something obvious like it's revolutionary. And he learns about Jessica, watches her with Ethan, and sees the mother she became, patient, firm, playful. Sees how she stretches every dollar, how she worries about bills she thinks Patrick doesn't notice. On Thursday, Patrick arrives to find Jessica's car in the apartment parking lot with a mechanic's note on the windshield. Later, he overhears her on the phone. "How much to fix it?" I don't have that kind of money right now. Can it wait?" "No, I understand. It's not safe." "Okay, I'll figure something out." She hangs up, presses her hand to her eyes. Patrick pretends he didn't hear, but his mind is already working. The next morning, Jessica calls him, voice tight. "My car's fixed." "That's great." "Patrick, did you pay my mechanic?" "I don't know what you're talking about." "Patrick." "Jessica, your car wasn't safe. Ethan rides in that car. I couldn't. We talked about this. I don't want your money." "It's not about money. It's about keeping my son safe." "He's my son too, and I was handling it by driving with bad brakes." "Jessica, what if something happened?" He stops. They're both breathing hard. "I'm sorry," Patrick says at last. "I should have asked. But I'm not sorry I fixed it. I'm not going to apologize for wanting you both safe." Jessica is quiet for a long moment. "You can't just fix things with money, Patrick. That's not how this works." "Then how does it work? Tell me. Teach me." "You ask. You discuss. You don't just swoop in and solve problems without permission. That's not partnership, that's control. Patrick absorbs this. She's right. His instinct is to throw money at problems until they disappear. But that's not what Jessica needs. Not what Ethan needs. You're right, he says. I'm sorry. Next time I'll ask, I promise. Okay, thank you. But Jessica, for what it's worth, I'd do it again. I won't apologize for wanting you safe. She sighs, but he hears the softness in it. I know, that's the problem. I know you mean well. On Friday, a woman shows up at Jessica's apartment while Patrick is visiting. She's older, elegant, with kind eyes and Patrick's father's smile. Aunt Caroline? Patrick stands, shocked. Hello, Patrick. Jessica. Jessica tenses. How did you find me? I asked Patrick's investigator. Don't worry, I come in peace. May I come in? Jessica looks at Patrick. He nods. She's safe, I promise. Caroline enters, looks around the modest apartment with no judgment in her expression. Ethan peeks out from his room. And you must be Ethan, Caroline says, crouching down. I'm your great-aunt, Caroline. I've wanted to meet you for a very long time. Your family, too. I am. Your grandfather was my brother. I have a lot of family now. Ethan observes. Caroline laughs, tears in her eyes. Yes, you do. And we're all very happy you're here. Jessica remains wary, but as Caroline talks, really talks, with no agenda or judgment, she begins to relax. Caroline tells stories about Patrick as a child, makes Ethan laugh, thanks Jessica for raising such a wonderful boy. I want to apologize, Caroline says eventually, for my sister-in-law. Victoria could be difficult. What she did to you was unforgivable. You knew, Jessica asks. Not until recently. Patrick told me, if I had known then, I would have stopped her. I would have... She stops, wipes her eyes. The Moore family owes you an enormous debt, Caroline continues. You gave us Ethan, and you raised him beautifully, under circumstances that would have broken most people. I hope you'll let me be part of his life. Not to replace anything, just to add to it. Jessica looks at Patrick. He nods, encouraging. Something in her chest loosens. She'd steeled herself against the Moore family, expected threats and judgments and cold superiority, but Caroline offers only warmth, respect, genuine interest in Ethan. Maybe not all of Patrick's family is poison. Maybe some doors can open instead of slam shut. Okay, Jessica says slow, but slow, like with Patrick. Ethan comes first. Absolutely. Caroline agrees. Always. Before she leaves, Caroline hugs Jessica. Thank you, she whispers, for bringing joy back into Patrick's life. He's been hollow for so long. But when he talks about you and Ethan, he lights up. That's because of you. After Caroline leaves, Jessica is quiet. You okay? Patrick asks. She's nice. Not what I expected. She's not my mother. Caroline actually cares about people. She loves you. I could see it. She's the only family I have left. Now she has Ethan too. She's thrilled. Jessica nods, processing. Your world is complicated. It doesn't have to be, not the important parts. That night, Patrick gets a call from Marcus. We have a problem. Photos of you with a kid surfaced online. Speculation is going crazy. What do you want me to do? Patrick looks at Ethan, asleep on the couch with his head in Jessica's lap while she grades papers. Put out a statement. Patrick says, simple and honest. Confirm he's my son. Ask for privacy. No other details. Patrick, this will blow up. Questions about the mother, about why you kept it secret. I don't care. Ethan comes first. Protecting him and Jessica comes first. Everything else is just noise. Understood. I'll handle it. When Patrick hangs up, Jessica is watching him. What was that about? Someone photographed us. At the park. It's online now. Jessica's face goes pale. What does that mean? It means my PR team will confirm Ethan is my son and ask people to respect our privacy. It means there might be reporters. I'm sorry. I should have thought of this. Will they come here? To my apartment? No, I won't let them. I'll have security. Patrick, I can't afford security. You don't have to. I'll pay for it. And before you argue, this is my fault. My world brought this to your door. Let me protect you from it. Jessica looks at Ethan, sleeping peacefully, unaware his life just got complicated. Okay, she says quietly, but Patrick, if this gets bad, if it hurts him, then I'll fix it. Whatever it takes. I promise. She nods, trusts him inch by inch. The next morning, Patrick holds a press conference. Standing at a podium, flashbulbs popping, he speaks clear and firm. I recently discovered I have a 4-year-old son. His mother and I are working together to build a relationship with him. I'm asking the media to respect our privacy, especially my son's privacy. He's an innocent child who deserves a normal childhood. Thank you. He takes no questions, walks off stage. Marcus meets him backstage. That was good, clear, direct, protective. The board won't like it, though. The board can deal, Patrick says. I'm not hiding my son. I'm not ashamed. And anyone who has a problem with it can find a new CEO. Marcus grins. There's the Patrick I remember, the one who actually cares. Patrick smiles. For the first time in 5 years, he does give a damn about everything, because he has something worth fighting for. 2 things, actually, and he's not letting them go. Jessica stands in her apartment hallway, staring at the envelope in her hands. Official letterhead. Patrick's law firm. Her heart hammers against her ribs. She rips it open with shaking fingers. The words blur together at first. Legal terminology, formal language. But 3 phrases jump out, sharp as knives. Petition for joint legal custody, visitation rights, child support obligations. Jessica's knees buckle. She slides down the wall, the papers scattering around her. He's suing her. Patrick is taking her to court. After everything. After the park visits and the dinosaur games and the promises to take things slow. After she let him into their lives, let Ethan fall in love with him, let herself believe he'd changed. He's taking her to court. Mommy, are you okay? Ethan stands in the hallway, clutching Rex the T-Rex, his face worried. I'm fine, baby. Jessica lies, forces a smile. Just dropped something. Is Daddy coming today? The word Daddy used to bring joy. Now it feels like betrayal. I don't know, sweetheart. Maybe not today. But he promised. He said we'd go to the zoo. Jessica closes her eyes. Of course Patrick promised. He promises everything and delivers nothing when it matters. We'll see, okay? Go play with your dinosaurs. Ethan pouts but obeys. The moment he's gone, Jessica grabs her phone and calls Patrick. It goes to voicemail. She hangs up, calls again, voicemail again. She texts, "We need to talk now." No response. Jessica looks at the papers again. Joint legal custody. That means decisions about school, medical care, everything. That means Patrick can override her choices. That means she loses control of the life she built, the son she raised alone. That means Victoria Moore was right all along. The Moores always get what they want. Her phone rings. Patrick. "What is this?" she says instead of hello. "Jessica, I can explain." "Explain! You're taking me to court. You're suing me for custody." "It's not a lawsuit. It's a petition for joint custody. There's a difference." "I don't care about the legal terminology, Patrick. You went behind my back. After everything we talked about, after you promised." "I didn't go behind your back. I told you I wanted to be Ethan's father legally. This is how it's done. You said we'd figure things out together. This isn't together. This is you doing exactly what your mother did, using lawyers and power and money to get what you want. Silence on the other end. Then, that's not fair." "Fair? You want to talk about fair? I've let you into our lives. I've let you spend time with Ethan. I've trusted you. And this is how you repay me. Jessica, I need legal rights as his father. What if something happens? What if Ethan gets sick and you're unreachable, and the hospital won't let me make decisions because I have no legal standing? I'm protecting my son. Our son. He's our son. And I've been protecting him for 4 years while you were nowhere because you took him from me. The words explode between them. Jessica's vision goes red. I took him to save him from your family. I took him because your mother threatened to destroy me, and now you're doing exactly what she would have done, taking me to court, taking my son. I'm not taking him. It's joint custody, Jessica. Joint. We share him. That's what I want. You should have asked me first. You should have talked to me. Instead, you sent lawyers and papers, and God, I was so stupid. I started to believe you'd changed. But you're still the same man who kept me secret, the same man who chose his family over me. That's not true, and you know it. Do I? Because from where I'm standing, it looks extremely familiar. I'm not my mother, Jessica. No, you're worse. At least she was honest about wanting to take him from me. You pretended to care, pretended we could work together, and then you ambushed me with legal papers. It wasn't an ambush. I was protecting my rights as his father. You don't have rights. You haven't earned them. The words hang in the air, cruel and final. Jessica hears Patrick's sharp intake of breath. I see, he says, his voice cold now. So everything we've been doing, everything we've built, that doesn't matter. I'm still the bad guy. I'm still your enemy. Patrick, no, you made yourself clear. I haven't earned the right to be Ethan's father. Well, guess what, Jessica? I don't need your permission. That's what the custody papers are for. Don't you dare expect to hear from my lawyer. Since we apparently can't work together like adults, we'll let the courts decide. He hangs up. Jessica stares at her phone, shaking with rage and fear, and something that feels horribly like grief. What has she done? What has he done? How did they get here? Ali arrives 20 minutes later, summoned by Jessica's incoherent text. She finds Jessica on the floor, surrounded by legal papers, crying. Oh, honey, Ali says, sits beside her. What happened? Jessica hands her the papers. Ali reads, her expression darkening. I can't believe him. After everything, he says it's just joint custody, that he needs legal rights. And I think he's taking Ethan from me, just like his mother threatened. I think I was an idiot to trust him. Ali is quiet for a moment. Then, Jess, I'm going to say something you won't like. What? These papers. They're actually pretty reasonable. Joint legal custody means you share decisions. He's not asking for primary physical custody or trying to take Ethan away. He's asking to be a legal parent. You're defending him? I'm not defending anything. Look, I hate Patrick for what happened 5 years ago, but he's been showing up, he's been consistent, and legally, he does need some kind of custody arrangement. You can't expect him to just take your word that you'll include him in decisions. Whose side are you on? Yours, always yours. But Jessica, you're scared. And when you're scared, you attack. Maybe he didn't handle this right, but maybe you're overreacting too. Jessica wants to argue, but the words stick in her throat, because part of her knows Ali is right, part of her knows she's been waiting for Patrick to betray her, expected it, almost wanted it, so she could prove she was right to run 5 years ago. But admitting that feels like losing, and Jessica can't lose, not when Ethan is at stake. I need to protect him, she whispers. I know, but honey, maybe protecting him doesn't mean keeping Patrick out. Maybe it means learning to share. Patrick sits in his office, staring at the skyline, Jessica's words echoing in his head. You haven't earned them. Maybe she's right. Maybe showing up for 3 weeks doesn't erase 4 years of absence. Maybe he expected too much, too fast. Maybe he should have talked to her first. But God, he's so tired of asking permission, of proving himself. of feeling like an outsider in his own son's life. He filed those papers because he was terrified. Terrified that Jessica would disappear again, that she'd decide Portland wasn't safe enough and move to some city he'd never find, that he'd wake up one morning and they'd be gone, and this time he'd have no legal recourse at all. The custody papers weren't about control. They were about protection, about making sure he didn't lose his son twice. But Jessica can't see that, won't see that. To her, he's still the enemy. Still the man who chose his family's approval over her love. And maybe he always will be. His phone rings. Marcus. We have a problem, Marcus says without preamble. What now? The Singapore deal is falling apart. They want to meet tomorrow. In person. If we don't salvage this, we lose the entire Asian expansion. Patrick's jaw tightens. How much? 200 million, plus our foothold in 3 markets. Tomorrow. 9 Seattle. They're flying in specifically for this. Patrick, you have to be there. Patrick looks at his calendar. Tomorrow, Ethan's preschool graduation, his first major milestone that Patrick will actually witness. The thing Patrick's been looking forward to all week. I can't, Patrick says. What do you mean you can't? I have something with Ethan. Patrick, this is $200 million. This is the company's future, and Ethan is my future. Tell them I can't make it. They won't reschedule. They'll walk. We'll lose everything. Patrick closes his eyes. This is the test, isn't it? This is where he proves who he is. What matters most? Then we lose it, he says. Are you insane? Maybe. But I'm not missing my son's preschool graduation for a business deal. I've missed enough. Patrick. Handle it, Marcus. That's why you're CFO. Figure it out. He hangs up before Marcus can argue further. His heart pounds. $200 million. Years of work. The Singapore expansion has been his pet project for 3 years, but Ethan only graduates from preschool once. The choice should be easy. So why does it feel like he's stepping off a cliff? The next morning, Patrick arrives at Little Explorers Preschool at 8:30. The auditorium is already filling with parents. He finds a seat near the back, scanning for Jessica and Ethan. He sees Jessica first. She's sitting alone, 3 rows from the front, her posture rigid. She hasn't seen him yet. Patrick's phone buzzes. Marcus. Singapore deal dead. They walked. Board is furious. Emergency meeting called for this afternoon. You need to be there. Patrick turns off his phone. The graduation ceremony starts. 4-year-olds file onto the stage in tiny caps and gowns, and Patrick's chest tightens when he spots Ethan, his son, looking so grown up, so serious in his little outfit. Ethan's eyes search the crowd. Patrick sees the moment he spots Jessica. His face lights up. He waves. Then Ethan's gaze keeps moving, searching for Patrick. And when Ethan sees him, when those jade-green eyes lock on Patrick's and Ethan's whole face explodes into the biggest smile Patrick has ever seen, every doubt vanishes. $200 million means nothing compared to that smile. The ceremony is short, sweet. The kids sing songs. They receive certificates. Ethan beams through the whole thing. And when it's over, Patrick stands, ready to congratulate his son. That's when Jessica sees him. Her expression shifts from surprise to something harder, anger. She grabs Ethan's hand and heads for the exit, away from Patrick. Jessica, wait! She turns, and her eyes are ice. What are you doing here? It's Ethan's graduation. Of course I'm here. After yesterday, after you threatened me with lawyers. I didn't threaten you. I filed for joint custody. There's a difference. Not to me. Ethan looks between them, confused. Mommy, is Daddy coming to lunch? No, Jessica says. Yes, Patrick says at the same time. We planned this, Patrick continues. Lunch at the pizza place. Remember, buddy? We talked about it. You talked about it, Jessica says. But plans change. Jessica, don't do this. Don't punish Ethan because you're angry at me. Don't tell me how to parent my son. Our son. They're drawing looks now. Other parents pretending not to stare. Patrick lowers his voice. Please, he graduated. Let's celebrate together. We can fight later. But right now, let's give him this. Jessica's jaw works. Ethan tugs her hand. Please, Mommy. I want pizza with both of you. Jessica looks down at Ethan, and Patrick sees her resolve crumble. Fine, she says. But we're taking separate cars, and we're not discussing anything in front of him. Agreed. The lunch is tense. Ethan chatters away, oblivious to the undercurrents between his parents. Patrick and Jessica speak to Ethan, but not each other. A careful dance of avoidance. But Patrick notices things. The circles under Jessica's eyes, the way she picks at her food, the defensive set of her shoulders. When Ethan goes to the bathroom, Jessica turns to Patrick. You should have been at work, she says. What? You had that Singapore thing. Marcus texted me, asking if I knew where you were, said it was crucial. You sacrificed a huge deal to be here. So? So why? To prove a point, to make me feel guilty. Patrick stares at her. Are you serious right now? I came because I wanted to see my son graduate, because this matters more than any business deal. But it cost you. I don't care what it cost. Jessica, when are you going to understand? Ethan comes first, always. I'm not my mother. I'm not choosing business over family. Not anymore. Jessica's eyes fill with tears. I don't know how to believe you. Then let me prove it. Every day, for as long as it takes, you filed those papers. Because I was scared. Because I need to know that you won't disappear again. That you won't take him and run if things get hard. That I have some legal protection. Some guarantee that I'll be part of his life. Not to take him from you, Jessica. Never that. But to make sure I don't lose him again. You should have told me. You're right. I should have. I'm sorry. I panicked, and I handled it wrong, and I'm sorry. Jessica wipes her eyes. I'm scared too. Scared that you'll get bored of playing daddy. Scared that your world will swallow him up. Scared that I'll lose him to you the way your mother threatened. You won't lose him, I promise. We can share him. We can do this together, if you'll let us. I don't know how. Neither do I, but we can figure it out. Please, Jessica, don't give up on this. On us. The words hang there. Us, not just Ethan, them. Jessica opens her mouth to respond, but Ethan returns, sliding back into his seat. Are you guys done fighting? He asks, too perceptive for four. We're not fighting, Jessica says. We're just talking, grown-up talking, something like that. Ethan considers this. Okay, can I have dessert? They both laugh, the tension breaking slightly. Patrick orders ice cream sundaes for all three of them, and for a few minutes they're almost normal, almost a family. But when lunch ends, Jessica takes Ethan and leaves without looking back. Patrick watches them go, feeling like he's losing something he just started to have. He almost calls out to her, almost reaches for her. The distance between them feels like miles instead of feet, and Patrick wants to close it, wants to pull her close and make her understand that every mistake he's made came from fear and inexperience, not malice. He wants to tell her that when she smiles at Ethan, he falls in love with her all over again, that watching her mother their son makes him ache with want and regret and hope. But she's already through the door, already gone, and Patrick is left standing in an empty pizza restaurant, wondering how to bridge a gap that keeps growing wider. That night, Marcus calls. The board wants you out, he says bluntly. Patrick's stomach drops. What? You blew off the Singapore meeting. The deal died. They're saying you're not focused, that your personal life is interfering with your responsibilities. They're calling for a vote of no confidence. Can they do that? You gave them ammunition. Patrick, you're the CEO, but you don't have controlling interest. If enough board members vote against you, I lose the company, your father's company, the Moore legacy, everything. Patrick looks around his hotel room, at his laptop showing plummeting stock prices, at his phone showing angry emails from board members, at the photo he took of Ethan at graduation, beaming in his tiny cap and gown. "Let them vote," Patrick says. "What? If they want me out, fine. I'll fight them, but I won't sacrifice my son to save a company." "Patrick, this is your entire life." "No, Ethan is my life. The company is just a job." "You don't mean that." "I do. For the first time in my life, Marcus, I actually do." After Marcus hangs up, Patrick sits in the dark, wondering if he's making the right choice, wondering if Jessica will ever trust him, wondering if losing everything is the only way to prove what matters most. His phone buzzes, a text from Jessica. "Thank you for coming today. It meant everything to Ethan." Patrick stares at the words, not forgiveness, not trust, but a crack in the wall. Jessica sits in her apartment, Ethan asleep in the next room, staring at the text she just sent. Her finger hovers over the phone, waiting for Patrick's response. Part of her wants him to say more, wants him to fight harder, wants him to prove that she's wrong about him, that he's not going to give up or disappear or choose his company over their son. The other part of her is terrified he'll do exactly that. Patrick's response comes through. "He's worth fighting for, you both are." Jessica's breath catches. "You both are. Not just Ethan, her too. After everything, after the custody papers and the angry words and the years of hurt, he's still fighting for her." She doesn't text back, can't, because if she does, she might say something she's not ready to say, might admit that she's still fighting for him too, even when she doesn't want to be. Across the city, Patrick hopes, desperately hopes, that somewhere Jessica is reading those words and believing them, because he meant everyone. Patrick sits in a coffee shop across from Ali Chen, feeling like a kid in the principal's office. Ali stares at him with undisguised hostility. "Why am I here?" she asks. "Because I need help, and you're Jessica's best friend. So you know what she needs, what would matter to her, not expensive gifts or grand gestures, but real things, things that show I understand her." Ali leans back, studies him. "You're serious, completely. I messed up with the custody papers, I know that. But I want to make it right. I want to show Jessica that I see her, that I understand what matters to her. What matters to her is Ethan. I know, but there's more, isn't there? Her work, her students, the life she built." Ali is quiet for a long moment. Then, "Her school is losing funding. The music and art programs are getting cut at the end of this month. Jessica's been trying to save them, organizing fundraisers, writing letters to the school board, but it's not enough. She cries about it at night when Ethan's asleep. Says those kids deserve beauty and creativity, not just test prep and budget cuts." Patrick's mind races. "When's the school board meeting?" "Thursday, 7 p.m. Why? Just trust me, please." Ali points a finger at him. "If you hurt her again, I will destroy you myself. I know people. Scary people." Patrick almost smiles. "Noted. I'm serious, Patrick. She's been through enough. If you're not in this for the long haul, walk away now. Don't give her hope and then crush it." "I'm not going anywhere," Patrick says. "I love her. I've loved her for 9 years. I'm not walking away from that again." Ali's expression softens slightly. "Then prove it, not with money, with action. Show her you care about what she cares about. That's what I'm trying to do." After Ali leaves, Patrick makes a phone call, then another, then 10 more. By the time he's done, he's committed funds, called in favors, and rearranged his entire week. But if this works, it'll be worth it. Jessica sits in the back row of the school board meeting, exhausted and defeated. She's given her speech, made her case, shown the data on how music and art improve academic performance, reduce behavioral issues, increase graduation rates. The board members nodded and said they'd take it under consideration, which means no. Which means the programs die, which means her students lose something precious because the budget matters more than their futures. She's gathering her papers when she hears a familiar voice. "I'd like to speak, if I may." Jessica's head snaps up. Patrick stands at the microphone, wearing a suit but looking nervous. What is he doing here? "Name for the record," the board chair asks. "Patrick Moore. I'm a parent. My son attends Little Explorers preschool, but he'll be in the district next year, and I'm here to talk about the proposed cuts to music and art programs." Jessica's heart hammers. She tries to catch his eye, but Patrick is focused on the board. "I grew up with every advantage," Patrick says. "Private schools, tutors, enrichment programs. My parents could afford to give me access to art, music, theater, everything. But here's what I've learned. Access to creativity shouldn't depend on your parents' income. Every child deserves the chance to discover what makes them come alive. Maybe it's painting, maybe it's playing an instrument, maybe it's performing in a school play. But if we cut these programs, we're telling kids that their creativity doesn't matter, that unless their parents can pay for private lessons, they don't deserve access to beauty." The board members shift in their seats. Patrick continues, his voice gaining strength. "Miss Carter, Jessica Carter, who teaches 3rd grade at Oakwood Elementary, she spent the last month trying to save these programs. Not because she teaches art or music, but because she understands that education is more than test scores. It's about giving children tools to express themselves, to understand the world, to become whole people." And she's right. Jessica's eyes fill with tears. He came. Patrick came to her school board meeting and stood up for her students. "So here's what I'm proposing," Patrick says. "I'll make a donation to fully fund the music and art programs for the next 3 years. Not as a tax write-off or publicity stunt, but as an investment in these kids. All I ask is that the district matches my contribution for years 4 and 5, so the programs become sustainable. Give the community time to see the value, to find ongoing funding sources. But don't cut them now. Don't tell these children that creativity is a luxury they can't afford." The room erupts in murmurs. Jessica sits frozen, tears streaming down her face. He came. Patrick came to a school board meeting and stood up for her students, for her work, for the thing she's been fighting for alone. This isn't throwing money at a problem. This is understanding what matters to her and choosing to fight beside her. This is partnership. This is everything she's been afraid to hope for. The board chair clears his throat. "Mr. Moore, that's a generous offer, but—" "I'm not done," Patrick interrupts. "I also want to establish a scholarship fund for students who want to pursue arts education beyond high school. And I'll work with local businesses to create mentorship programs connecting students with working artists and musicians. This isn't charity. This is investment. In children, in community, in the future. And it's the right thing to do." He looks at Jessica at last. Their eyes meet across the room, and Patrick's expression is open, vulnerable, hopeful. "So what do you say?" he asks the board. "Do we tell these kids they matter?" The board members exchange glances. The chair nods. "We'll need to review the details, but Mr. Moore, I think we can work something out. Thank you for your generous offer." Applause fills the room. Parents and teachers stand cheering. Jessica sits motionless, overwhelmed. Patrick walks up the aisle toward her. When he reaches her row, he stops. "Hi," he says. "Hi," Jessica whispers. "Can we talk? Outside?" She nods. Can't speak past the lump in her throat. They walk out of the building into the cool evening air. Jessica wraps her arms around herself. "You didn't have to do that," she says. "Yes, I did." "Patrick, that's a lot of money." "I don't care about the money. I care about you, and you care about those kids, so I care about them too." Jessica turns to face him. "Why?" Because I'm learning what you already know, that success isn't measured in dollars or deals or board meetings. It's measured in lives changed, in kids who get to paint and sing and discover who they are, in making things better, not just more profitable. You're learning that. You're teaching me. You and Ethan, you're teaching me what actually matters. Jessica's tears fall faster now. I don't know what to say. Then don't say anything. Just let me keep trying. Let me keep proving that I'm worth the risk. Patrick, I filed those custody papers because I was terrified of losing you both again. But I handled it all wrong. I should have talked to you first. Should have trusted that we could work it out together. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for every time I chose fear over trust, control over partnership. I'm sorry for 5 years ago, when I kept you secret instead of standing up for us. I'm sorry for letting my mother's voice in my head convince me that I had to choose between family and love. And I'm sorry that it's taking me so long to learn how to do this right. Jessica covers her face with her hands. I've been unfair too. I've been waiting for you to fail, expecting you to turn into your mother, punishing you for things you haven't even done. I took Ethan and ran because I was scared, and I've been using that fear as a weapon ever since. But Patrick, you've shown up. Every single time. You sacrificed a huge business deal to watch Ethan graduate. You're restructuring your entire life to be here, and I've been so busy protecting myself that I couldn't see it. You had reason to protect yourself. I gave you every reason. No, yes, 5 years ago you did. But now you're different, and I keep treating you like you're still that man who wouldn't introduce me to his parents. But you're not him anymore, are you? Patrick steps closer. No, I'm not. I'm still learning, still making mistakes. But I'm trying, Jessica. I'm trying so hard. I can see that. I do see it. Then give me another chance, not for Ethan. For us, for what we could be if we stop letting the past dictate our future. Jessica looks up at him, and Patrick sees hope and fear and longing warring in her eyes. I'm scared, she whispers. I know, so am I. But can we be scared together this time? Can we stop running from each other and try to make this work? What if you hurt me again? I probably will. Not on purpose, but I'm going to mess up. I'm going to revert to old patterns. I'm going to make the wrong call sometimes. But Jessica, I promise I'll keep trying. I'll keep learning. I'll keep choosing you and Ethan over everything else, because you're worth fighting for. The thematic phrase hangs between them, loaded with history and hope. We're worth fighting for, Jessica corrects softly, all three of us. Yes, we are. They're close now. Close enough that Jessica can feel the heat of his body, can smell his cologne, can see the flecks of gold in his green eyes. 5 years of distance, 3 weeks of tentative rebuilding, and now this moment where everything could change. Patrick, she breathes. Tell me what you want, he says, his voice rough. Tell me, and I'll make it happen. I want... She stops, gathering courage. I want to stop being afraid. I want to believe that you'll stay, that you mean what you say, that this isn't temporary. It's not temporary. I'm not going anywhere. Patrick's heart hammers. He's so close to her he can count her freckles, can see the way her pupils dilate when she looks at him, can feel the heat radiating from her skin. 5 years of dreaming about this moment, of imagining what it would feel like to hold her again, to kiss her again, to hear her say she loves him. And now it's happening, and he's terrified of doing something wrong, of moving too fast, of breaking this fragile trust they're building. But Jessica is looking at him like he hung the moon, and Patrick can't hold back anymore. Promise? I promise. Jessica, I've been in love with you for 9 years. Through 5 years of absence, through finding out I had a son I never knew, through every fight and fear and moment of doubt. I love you. I've always loved you. And I'm going to keep loving you for the rest of my life, if you'll let me. Jessica's breath catches. You love me? How could I not? You're brilliant and fierce, and you built an entire life from fear and $50,000. You raised our son to be kind and curious and brave. You fight for kids who aren't even yours. You made me want to be better than I am. Of course I love you. I love you too, Jessica says, and the words tumble out before she can stop them. I tried not to, tried to convince myself I didn't, but I never stopped, Patrick. Even when I hated you, I loved you. Then let me love you back, Patrick says, cupping her face in his hands. Let me love both of you the way you deserve. Let me be the man I should have been 5 years ago. Let me prove that some things are worth fighting for. We are, Jessica whispers. We're worth fighting for. Together. And then Patrick kisses her. It's not gentle or tentative. It's 5 years of longing and regret and hope poured into one desperate moment of connection. Jessica gasps against his mouth, and then she's kissing him back, her hands fisting in his shirt, pulling him closer. Patrick wraps his arms around her waist, lifts her off the ground a few inches, and Jessica feels like she's coming home after a long, brutal journey. The kiss tastes like tears and promises, like second chances and hard-won trust, like everything they lost and everything they might build if they're brave enough. When they break apart at last, both breathing hard, Patrick rests his forehead against hers. I've missed you, he says. I've missed you so much. I've missed you too, Jessica admits, every single day. So we're doing this. We're trying, Jessica confirms. But Patrick, slow. We take it slow. For Ethan's sake, for ours. We figure out how to be partners before we figure out how to be more partners. Patrick agrees. I can do partners, and you talk to me. Before you file papers or make big decisions, we discuss things. We're a team. Yes. And no buying me things to solve problems. I'm serious, Patrick. I don't want your money. I want you. Just you. Just me, Patrick echoes, smiling. That might be harder than giving you money. I'm kind of a disaster without the resources. Jessica laughs, wiping her eyes. Then I'll teach you how to be a disaster together. We can figure it out together, Patrick says, and kisses her again. Softer this time, sweeter. A promise instead of a question. They stand in the parking lot, holding each other, as the sky darkens and the first stars emerge. Inside the school building, the board is probably drafting agreements, discussing logistics, planning implementations. But out here, in this moment, none of that matters. What matters is Patrick's arms around her. What matters is the way her heart feels safe enough to hope at last. What matters is that they're choosing each other after all this time. We should tell Ethan, Jessica says after a while. Tell him what? That we're together. That we're trying. He'll have questions. Patrick pulls back slightly, his expression uncertain. What do we say? The truth. That Mommy and Daddy care about each other very much, that we're figuring out how to be a family, that it might be confusing sometimes, but we're all in it together. He'll be okay with that. Jessica smiles. Patrick, he's been asking me when you're moving in since day 3. He'll be thrilled. Really. He loves you. You're his daddy. And now maybe we can be what he's been imagining all along. Patrick kisses her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. I love you. I'm going to say that a lot, just so you know. I have 5 years to make up for. I love you too, Jessica says, and this time it feels easy, natural, right. They walk to Jessica's car hand in hand. Patrick kisses her goodbye 3 more times before letting her drive away at last. And as Jessica navigates through the Portland streets toward home, toward Ethan, toward their future, she feels lighter than she has in 5 years. Scared, yes. Uncertain, without question. But also hopeful, because Patrick fought for her, not with money or power or control, but with understanding and action and love. He showed up at a school board meeting and spoke about art programs and kids who aren't even his yet. He listened to what she valued and chose to value it too. That's not the old Patrick. That's not the man who kept her secret or chose his family's approval over her love. That's the man he's becoming, the man he's fighting to be. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. When Jessica gets home, Ali is there with Ethan playing dinosaurs in the living room. "How'd it go?" Ali asks, then stops. "Oh my gosh, what happened? You're glowing." "I'll tell you later," Jessica says, grinning. "Ethan, can we talk for a minute?" Ethan looks up, his face turning worried. "Am I in trouble?" "No, baby, not at all. Come sit with me." Ethan climbs onto the couch. Rex, the T-Rex, clutched tight. Jessica takes a breath. "Remember how Daddy and I have been spending time together with you?" "Yeah. Well, we've decided that we want to spend time together without you too. Like friends who really like each other." Ethan's eyes go wide. "Are you boyfriend and girlfriend?" Jessica laughs. "Something like that. Does that mean Daddy's coming to live with us?" "Not yet. We're taking things slow, but it means we're a family, buddy. All three of us. For real." Ethan throws his arms around her neck. "Finally! I've been waiting forever." Jessica hugs him tight, blinking back tears. Ali watches from the doorway, grinning. "Forever is a long time," Jessica says. "It's only been a few weeks." "That's forever when you're 4, Ethan informs her with great seriousness. "Can Daddy come over tomorrow?" "I think that can be arranged. And can we go to the zoo, all of us together?" "We'll ask him." "And can we get ice cream after?" "Ethan, one thing at a time." "But Mommy, we're a family now. Families do things together." Jessica laughs through her tears. "Yes, baby, they do. So we'll do everything together, as much as we can. But Daddy still has his own home and his work, and we have our home and my work. We're figuring it out." "Okay, as long as he comes over a lot. He will, I promise." Ethan bounces off to his room, already planning zoo adventures. Ali sits beside Jessica on the couch. "So," Ali says, "he did good. He did amazing. Ali, he stood up at the school board meeting and pledged to fund the music and art programs. Gave this speech about how all kids deserve access to creativity. Then Jessica touches her lips. Then he kissed me. And it was perfect. Scary and perfect. We're trying. Actually trying. Together." Ali hugs her. "I'm happy for you. Terrified, but happy. If he hurts you, I know." Scary people. He's been warned. They laugh, and for the first time in 5 years, Jessica lets herself believe that everything might actually work out. That night, Patrick texts, "Talk to my lawyer, withdrawing the custody petition. We'll work out an agreement together on our terms. No more surprises, I promise." Jessica texts back, "Thank you for everything, for today, for choosing us." "Always," Patrick responds. "Get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow." "I love you." "I love you too." Jessica falls asleep with her phone on her pillow, smiling like a teenager. And for once, her dreams are full of hope instead of fear. Because some things are worth fighting for, and they're finally fighting together instead of against each other. Jessica wakes up to the smell of burning pancakes. She bolts upright, disoriented. Ethan is supposed to be asleep, and she doesn't remember starting breakfast. Then she hears Patrick's voice from the kitchen, followed by Ethan's delighted laughter. "Daddy, they're black. I see that, buddy. We'll try again." Jessica grabs her robe and pads down the hallway. The sight in her kitchen makes her stop and smile. Patrick stands at the stove in rumpled clothes. He stayed over on the couch last night, attempting to flip a pancake, while Ethan sits on the counter in his dinosaur pajamas, supervising. "You have to wait until the bubbles pop," Ethan instructs, with the confidence of someone who has made 0 pancakes in his life. "That's what Mommy does. The bubbles. Right. I can do bubbles." Patrick spots Jessica and grins, sheepish. "Good morning. We're making you breakfast, or attempting to. I can see that. How many have you burned so far?" "This is the 4th batch." "4th?" Ethan giggles. "The first ones were super black. We gave them to the trash." Jessica laughs, walks over and kisses Patrick good morning. It's been 2 weeks since the school board meeting. 2 weeks of building this new normal step by step. Patrick sleeps on the couch more nights than not, helps with morning routines, joins them for dinner. They're taking things slow, but it feels right, natural. Her lips linger on his a moment longer than necessary, and Patrick's free hand finds the small of her back, pulling her closer despite the spatula between them. He smells like coffee and smoke from burned pancakes, and Jessica wants to stay right here in this moment forever. Messy kitchen, giggling child, imperfect man trying to make breakfast. This is what she ran from 5 years ago. This intimacy, this ordinary magic, and now she can't imagine running from it ever again. "Let me help," Jessica says, taking the spatula. "You're supposed to use medium heat, not volcanic. In my defense, I've never made pancakes before. Never, never. My chef made them, or I ate at restaurants, or I skipped breakfast and went straight to work." Jessica shakes her head, amused. "Well, you're learning now. Watch. The bubbles form. You wait, then flip. See?" Patrick watches her with an expression that makes Jessica's cheeks warm. Like she's performing magic instead of basic cooking. "You're amazing," he says. "It's pancakes, Patrick, not rocket science. No, I mean you. You do all of this. Cooking, parenting, teaching, keeping a home. You make it look easy. It's not easy, it's just necessary. That doesn't make it less impressive." Ethan makes a gagging sound. "Are you guys going to be mushy all morning? Because I'm hungry." They laugh. Jessica serves pancakes, golden and perfect, and they eat together at her small table. Patrick's knee bumps hers underneath. Ethan chatters about a field trip coming up. Coffee percolates in the ancient machine. Morning light streams through the window. It's ordinary, domestic, perfect. After breakfast, Patrick's phone rings. "Marcus, I have to take this," Patrick says, stepping into the living room. Jessica can't hear the whole conversation, but she catches phrases. "Board meeting. Seattle. Tomorrow morning." Patrick returns, looking torn. "I need to go back to Seattle," he says. "There's a board meeting I can't miss. It's important." "Okay. When will you be back? Thursday? Maybe Friday? I'm sorry, I know we had plans." "Patrick, you have a company to run, we understand." "Do you? Because I feel like I'm always choosing between you and work." Jessica stands, takes his hands. "Then don't choose. Do both. We're not going anywhere. Seattle is 2 hours away, not 2 continents. Go to your meeting. We'll be here when you get back." "You're sure?" "I'm sure. But Patrick, come back. Don't get sucked into the Seattle life and forget about us. That won't happen. Promise." "I promise. Nothing is more important than you and Ethan, not even more holdings." He means it. Jessica can see it in his eyes. But she also knows how easy it is to get pulled back into old patterns, old priorities. "Then prove it," she says, kissing him. "Go to Seattle. Handle your business. Then come home, home." The word hangs between them. Patrick's home is a penthouse in Seattle, at least on paper. But Jessica called this place home. For him. "Home," Patrick repeats, smiling. "I like that." Thursday night, Jessica's phone rings while she's grading papers. An unknown Seattle number. "Hello, Miss Carter. This is Caroline Harper, Patrick's aunt." "Caroline, hi. Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine. I'm hosting a small dinner party Saturday night. I'd love for you and Ethan to come. Patrick will be there, and it's time you met the good parts of the family." Jessica's stomach tightens. Meeting Patrick's family, his world, the world Victoria Moore ruled. "I don't know. I understand your hesitation," Caroline says with warmth. "But Jessica, you're part of this family now. You and Ethan. Come meet the woman who made Patrick human again." Jessica takes a breath. This is part of being with Patrick, his world, his people, his life. Okay, we'll come. Wonderful. I'll text you the address. And Jessica, thank you for giving Patrick another chance, for raising Ethan, for being who you are. After Caroline hangs up, Jessica stares at her phone, heart racing. Meeting Patrick's world. Stepping into the life she ran from 5 years ago. What if they judge her? What if Victoria was right? Her phone buzzes. Patrick, how's your evening? Missing you both. Home tomorrow afternoon. Jessica smiles despite her nerves. Home. He called Portland home. She texts back, your aunt invited us to dinner Saturday. In Seattle. I said yes. Should I be terrified? Patrick's response is immediate. No, they'll love you. I'll be right there with you. We're a team, remember? Team, Jessica types. Right, we can do this. We can do anything together. Saturday arrives too fast. Jessica stands in her closet, surrounded by rejected outfits. Nothing looks right. You look beautiful in everything, Ali says from the bed. Stop overthinking. I'm meeting his family, Ali. His rich, successful family. Caroline is lovely. You said so yourself. Caroline is one person. There will be others. Who will see that Patrick loves you? We're the blue one, the one Patrick stares at. Jessica pulls out the blue dress. Simple, elegant, makes her feel confident. When Patrick arrives to pick them up, his expression when he sees her makes all the anxiety worth it. Wow, he says. You're wow. Is that a good wow or a bad wow? Ethan asks. The best wow, Patrick says, his eyes on Jessica. The drive to Seattle is easier than Jessica expected. Patrick holds her hand while Ethan chatters from the back seat about dinosaurs. They listen to kid music and sing along off-key. It feels like a family road trip, not a march to judgment. Caroline's house is in a beautiful neighborhood, but it's warm and lived in, not cold and imposing like Jessica imagined. Caroline greets them at the door with hugs for everyone, including Ethan, who she whisks away at once to meet her dogs. He'll be fine, Caroline assures Jessica. My grandkids are here. They're in the playroom with supervision. Come, let me introduce you. The dinner party is smaller than Jessica feared, maybe 15 people. Caroline's husband, a few of Patrick's cousins, Marcus and his wife, some family friends. Everyone is kind, welcoming, sincere in their interest about Jessica's work as a teacher. So you're the woman who saved Patrick from himself. One cousin says, grinning, I don't know about saved. Trust us. He was miserable before. Now he smiles. He leaves work at reasonable hours. That's all you. Patrick squeezes her hand under the table. Jessica relaxes, degree by degree. After dinner, Caroline pulls Jessica aside. You're fitting in beautifully, Caroline says. I knew you would. Everyone's been so kind. I was worried that we'd be like Victoria. Caroline's expression saddens. My sister-in-law was a complicated woman. She loved her family with fierce devotion, but showed it in poor ways. Her controlling behavior came from fear of losing what mattered to her. But that doesn't excuse what she did to you. You deserved better. Patrick deserved better. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for giving us Ethan. He's a delight. Those children in there haven't stopped laughing since he arrived. Jessica smiles, warmth flooding her chest. This is what family should feel like. Welcome, not threatening, inclusive, not exclusive. Later, as they're leaving, Marcus pulls Patrick aside. Jessica watches them talk, sees Marcus clap Patrick on the shoulder, sees Patrick nod. In the car, Patrick is quiet at first. Then, Marcus offered me a partnership restructure. What does that mean? It means I'd step back from day-to-day CEO duties. Marcus would take over operations. I'd stay on the board, handle big-picture strategy, but I wouldn't have to be in Seattle full-time. I could move to Portland. Jessica's breath catches. Move to Portland. Patrick's heart pounds. This is it. The moment he chooses between the life he built and the life he wants, between his father's legacy and his son's future, between the CEO title his mother groomed him for and the partner Jessica needs him to be, there's no safety net this time. No way to hedge his bets or keep one foot in each world. He's all in, and he's terrified and exhilarated and more certain than he's ever been about anything. If you want, I know we're taking things slow, but I'm spending more time there anyway. And I hate being away from you and Ethan. This would let me keep my role in the company, but have a life, a family. Patrick, that's a huge decision. I know, and I'm not making it without talking to you first. That's why I'm talking to you now. What do you think Jessica considers this? Patrick moving to Portland, being there every day, not just weekends and stolen weeknights, building a real life together instead of this temporary arrangement. I think, she says with care, that you need to be sure. Don't do this just for us. Do it because it's what you want. It is what I want. I want breakfast with Ethan. I want to kiss you goodnight and wake up next to you in the morning. I want to be there for school events and bedtime stories and all the ordinary moments that make a life. The CEO job was consuming me. This partnership structure would let me have both, the career and the family. That's what I want. If you want it too. Jessica looks at him. This man who is choosing her, choosing their son, choosing a different kind of success. Yes, she says, I want it too. Patrick grins, pulls over into a parking lot, and kisses her until they're both breathless, and Ethan is complaining about gross grown-ups from the back seat. The next week, Jessica is called into her principal's office. I have a proposition for you. Principal Martinez says, we're creating a vice principal position for next year. I'd like you to apply. Jessica's heart leaps. Vice principal. You're a natural leader. Your students love you. Parents request you. And your fight to save the arts programs showed me that you care about this school beyond your classroom. I think you'd be perfect for the role. I'd have to give up my classroom. Not entirely. You'd teach one class and handle administrative duties. It's more responsibility, but also more influence. You could shape policy, support teachers, make school-wide changes. Think about it. Jessica thinks about it all the way home. More responsibility, better pay. A career step up, but less time with students, less time with Ethan, less time period. When she tells Patrick that evening, he listens with care. What do you want to do? He asks. I don't know. It's a great opportunity. The money would help, but I'd miss my classroom. Then don't take it. But the money... Jessica, I can help with money. Let me... Not controlling your life, just making things easier so you can choose based on what you want, not what you can afford. And there it is, the old pattern, Patrick throwing money at problems. But is it? Jessica pauses. 5 years ago, Patrick used money to avoid emotional connection. But now he's offering it as support, not control. He's not trying to buy her cooperation or silence her concerns. He's trying to remove barriers so she can make authentic choices. The difference matters, but accepting still feels dangerous. Still feels like losing the independence she fought so hard to build. No, Jessica says, I need to figure this out myself. But, Patrick, I appreciate the offer, but I need to make my own choices about my career. I can't have you paying for everything, making it so I never have to worry about money. That's not partnership, that's dependency. Patrick looks hurt. I'm not trying to make you dependent. I'm trying to help. I know. But I need to do this on my own. They're both tense now, the comfortable warmth from earlier evaporating. Fine, Patrick says. Do it on your own. He leaves soon after. Jessica sits in her empty apartment, wondering if she just pushed him away again. Her phone buzzes. Patrick, I'm sorry. You're right. Your career, your choice. I'll support whatever you decide. I love you. Jessica types back, I'm sorry too. I'm still learning how to accept help without feeling like I'm losing myself. I love you too. We'll figure it out together. Together, Jessica confirms. And they will, Because that's what partners do. They stumble, they recover, they keep trying. Later that night, Jessica decides to apply for the vice principal position, not because she needs the money, but because she wants the challenge, because she's ready to grow, because choosing based on what she wants instead of what she fears is how she moves forward. Patrick texts her a celebration gift when she tells him, then follows up with, "Can I take you and Ethan to dinner to celebrate? As your partner, not your bank account." Jessica laughs. "Yes, as my partner, who I love very much, even when he tries to fix everything with money. Working on that, I promise." Sunday afternoon, Patrick takes Ethan to the park while Jessica has coffee with Allie. "So, things are good?" Ally asks. "Things are so good. Scary good. Like waiting for something to go wrong good. Maybe nothing will go wrong. That doesn't happen to me. It does now. Jessica, you have a man who loves you, who shows up, who's changing his entire life to be with you and Ethan. You have a career opportunity. You have a family. You're allowed to be happy. I'm trying. It's just hard to trust it. I know, but he's not going anywhere. I can see it when he looks at you. That man is in this for life." Jessica smiles. Life. She's starting to believe it might actually work out. That evening, Patrick brings Ethan home exhausted and happy. After Ethan goes to bed, Patrick and Jessica curl up on the couch. "I talked to Marcus today," Patrick says, "about the partnership restructure. We're making it official. I'll be based in Portland by the end of the month." "End of the month? That's fast." "I know, but I don't want to wait. I want to be here, with you, building this life." Jessica kisses him. "Then let's build it, together, together." Patrick agrees. I like the sound of that. They sit in comfortable silence, Patrick's arms around her, and for the first time in 5 years, Jessica lets herself believe in forever. Because some things are worth fighting for, and they're finally done fighting against each other. Patrick has been planning this for 2 weeks. He's nervous in a way that billion-dollar deals never made him nervous. Because those were about money, and this is about everything. "Where are we going?" Ethan asks from the back seat for the 10th time. "It's a surprise," Patrick says, glancing at Jessica in the passenger seat. She looks beautiful in a simple sundress, her hair loose, her smile curious. "I don't like surprises," Ethan announces. "You'll like this one," Patrick promises. He parks at the Portland Japanese Garden. Jessica's expression shifts from curious to understanding. "Patrick," she breathes, "this is where we had our first date. 9 years ago, you were finishing your teaching degree. I was in town for a conference. We spent the whole afternoon here, talking about everything and nothing. I remember," Jessica says, her eyes bright. "You knew nothing about plants. Still don't. But I remember everything else. How you laughed, how the light caught your hair, how I knew, right then, that I was in trouble." Ethan tugs Patrick's hand. "Are we going in, or are we going to stand here being mushy?" They walk through the garden. It's a perfect spring day. Cherry blossoms in bloom, the air sweet and warm. Patrick's heart hammers. The ring weighs heavy in his pocket. Ethan knows the plan. They practiced last night, but Patrick is terrified the 4-year-old will blurt it out early. They reach the spot where Patrick and Jessica sat 9 years ago, a bench overlooking a pond with a small bridge. Patrick can almost see them there, younger, hopeful, unaware of the pain and separation ahead. "This is pretty," Ethan says, right on cue. "Mommy, I made you something." He pulls a folded paper from his pocket, holds it out. Jessica takes it, unfolds it, and her breath catches. It's a crayon drawing of 3 stick figures holding hands. Labels in Ethan's careful printing, Mommy, Daddy, me, a heart surrounds them all, and written inside the heart, "Will you marry us?" Jessica's hands shake. She looks from the drawing to Ethan to Patrick, who's now on one knee, pulling a velvet box from his pocket. Her heart stops. This is happening. Patrick is proposing, not with flashy displays or public spectacles, but with their son's crayon drawing and a return to where they began. This is the man she fell in love with 9 years ago, the man she thought she'd lost, the man who fought his way back to her. And he's on his knees, vulnerable and hopeful, asking her to build a life with him. "Patrick," she whispers. "Jessica Carter," Patrick says, and his voice cracks, but he pushes through. "You walked into my life 9 years ago and changed everything. You made me laugh. You challenged me. You saw through all the wealth and power to the man underneath, and you loved him anyway. Then I lost you because I was too scared to fight for what mattered. Because I let my mother's expectations matter more than your happiness. Because I was a coward." Jessica's tears fall. Ethan stands beside Patrick, solemn and proud of his role. "But you gave me another chance," Patrick continues. "You let me back into your life, into Ethan's life. You taught me what success means. You showed me that family comes first, that ordinary moments are extraordinary, that love is worth fighting for. And I'm done being scared. I'm done choosing anything over you and Ethan. So we're asking, will you marry us? Will you let me be your husband and Ethan's father, not just in heart but in name? Will you build a life with us?" He opens the box. The ring catches the light, not ostentatious, just beautiful. A single diamond on a simple band, elegant and understated, pure Jessica's style. Jessica looks at Ethan. "You're in on this?" Ethan nods, his face glowing with pride. "Daddy asked my permission. He said it's important to ask the man of the house." "And what did you say?" "I said yes. I want you to marry Daddy so we can be a real family." Jessica laughs through her tears, pulls Ethan into a hug. "Baby, we're already a real family." But this makes it official. Ethan insists, with rings and everything. Jessica holds her son, breathing in his little boy smell of sunshine and grape juice, feeling Patrick's eyes on them both. This is her family. Has been for 4 years. But making it official, legal, permanent, that's everything. That's the promise that Patrick won't disappear. That Ethan will always have his father. That she won't have to do this alone anymore. She turns back to Patrick, still on one knee, still holding the ring, still waiting with patient love in his eyes. And Jessica realizes she's not scared anymore. Not of his world, not of losing herself, not of being hurt, because they've already survived the worst. They found their way back, and now they get to choose each other, every day, for the rest of their lives. "Yes," she says, her voice strong and clear. "Yes, I'll marry you. Yes to all of it." Patrick slides the ring onto her finger, stands, and kisses her while Ethan cheers, and other garden visitors applaud. Someone yells, "Congratulations!" A woman dabs her eyes. Patrick doesn't care about any of them. All he cares about is Jessica in his arms, saying yes, choosing him, choosing them. Relief and joy flood through him in equal measure. She said yes. After everything, the separation, the pain, the mistakes, the slow rebuilding, she said yes. He's going to marry Jessica Carter. He's going to be Ethan's father in name and law. He's going to wake up every morning next to the woman he loves and build a life that matters. His mother was wrong. About everything, success isn't measured in board meetings or stock prices. It's measured in moments like this: a 4-year-old's laughter, a woman's tears of joy, a promise made in a garden where love began. Patrick has everything he needs right here in his arms. When they break apart at last, Ethan jumps between them. My turn for hugs. They sandwich him between them, this little boy who brought them together, who gave them both something to fight for, who made them better than they were apart. "We're getting married," Ethan announces to a passing couple. "I helped." The couple smiles. Patrick lifts Ethan onto his shoulders. "You did perfect, buddy. Couldn't have done it without you." "I know," Ethan says with 4-year-old confidence. I'm the best helper. They walk through the garden as a newly engaged family. Patrick holds Jessica's hand, feeling the ring under his fingers, proof that she's his, that they're doing this. I can't believe you brought us here, Jessica says. This place means so much. I wanted it to be meaningful, not flashy or public, just us and the place where we started. You and Ethan planned the whole thing. Marcus helped. And Caroline and Allie, who threatened to kill me if I screwed it up. Jessica laughs. That sounds like Allie. She takes her role as your protector seriously. She's earned it. So have you. Patrick stops walking, turns to face her. I'm going to spend the rest of my life earning it, proving that this time I'm staying, that nothing will pull me away. Jessica touches his face. I believe you. At last, with my whole heart, I believe you. They kiss again, slower this time, deeper. Ethan makes gagging sounds from Patrick's shoulders. Gross, you guys are always kissing now. Get used to it, buddy, Patrick says. There's going to be a lot more kissing. Later that afternoon, they drive to the cemetery. Ethan plays with his toy dinosaur in the back seat, while Patrick and Jessica stand before Victoria Moore's headstone. Jessica hasn't been here before, hasn't felt ready. But today, engaged and happy, she feels strong enough to face the woman who tried to destroy her. Should I hate you, Jessica says to the grave, for what you did, for the years you stole from us? Part of me wants to. Part of me will always carry that anger. But I also see what you couldn't see, that your son is happy, that your grandson is loved, that trying to control everything meant you lost what mattered most. Patrick takes her hand. Mom, this is Jessica. My fiancée, Ethan's mother, the woman you tried to pay off. She's everything you said she wasn't. She's brilliant, strong, worthy of this family, more than worthy. She makes us better, and I wish you'd given yourself the chance to know her, to know Ethan, to see that love doesn't diminish us, it completes us. His voice breaks. Jessica squeezes his hand. I forgive you, Patrick continues, for the lies, for the manipulation, for trying to control my life. I forgive you because holding on to anger means letting you win, and I'm done with that. You were wrong, Mom. About Jessica, about what I needed, about what success looks like. And I'm sorry you never got to see that. Jessica wipes her eyes. I forgive you too, Victoria, for both our sakes, for Ethan's sake. You can't hurt us anymore. We won't let you. They stand in silence for a moment. Then Ethan calls from the car. Are you guys coming? I'm hungry. Patrick laughs, the heaviness lifting. Yeah, buddy, we're coming. As they walk back to the car, Jessica feels lighter. The past is the past. They've faced it, acknowledged it, forgiven it. Now they can move forward without its weight. Thank you, Patrick says, for coming here, for saying those things. We needed to, both of us, together, always together. The engagement party is at Caroline's house the following Saturday. She insisted, wouldn't take no for an answer, promised to keep it small and intimate. Small and intimate means 40 people crammed into Caroline's beautiful home, but it's warm and joyful rather than overwhelming. Allie and her family, Sarah, Marcus and his wife, Patrick's cousins, Jessica's colleagues from school, Ethan's preschool teacher, even Principal Martinez, who congratulates Jessica on both the engagement and her acceptance of the vice principal position. To new beginnings, Principal Martinez says, raising her glass. The house buzzes with laughter and conversation. Ethan runs with Caroline's grandchildren, hyped up on cake and excitement. Patrick keeps his arm around Jessica's waist, unable to stop touching her, as if he needs constant proof that this is real. Caroline taps her glass for attention. The room quiets. Thank you all for coming to celebrate Patrick and Jessica. When Patrick first told me about Jessica, I'll admit I was cautious, not because of Jessica herself, but because I'd seen what Victoria's interference had done. I was afraid history would repeat itself. But watching these two together, watching them with Ethan, I realized something important. Love isn't about perfection. It's about choosing each other every day, even when it's hard. Most of all when it's hard. Patrick and Jessica have fought for this. They've earned this, and I couldn't be happier to welcome Jessica into our family as my niece. She raises her glass to Patrick and Jessica. May your marriage be filled with love, laughter, and patience for that delightful chaos agent you call a son. Everyone laughs and drinks, Ethan shouts from across the room. That's me. I'm the chaos agent. Caroline sits, and Allie stands, moving to the front. She looks at Jessica with fierce affection. I've known Jessica for 6 years. I watched her struggle alone, raising Ethan, working 2 jobs, never complaining. I watched her cry over bills she couldn't pay and birthdays she couldn't celebrate the way she wanted. And I watched her love that little boy with everything she had. When Patrick came back into her life, I'll be honest, I wanted to punch him. I thought he'd hurt her again, disappear again, prove that rich guys don't change. Allie turns to Patrick. But you did change. You showed up. You fought for them. You sacrificed business deals and rearranged your life and became the man Jessica needed, the man Ethan needed. And watching you 3 together, it's what Jessica always deserved. So, Patrick, welcome to the family. Just know that if you hurt her, I have a very particular set of skills, and I will use them. The room erupts in laughter. Patrick nods, solemn, noted and understood. Allie grins. To my best friend and the man who finally woke up, you two deserve this happiness. Marcus stands next. I've worked with Patrick for 8 years. For most of that time, he was brilliant and driven and completely miserable. Work was everything. Success was measured in quarterly earnings and board approvals. Then Jessica and Ethan came back into his life, and Patrick started leaving at 5, started smiling, started talking about something other than profit margins. At first, I thought he'd lost focus. Then I realized he'd found it. He'd figured out what matters. So thank you, Jessica, for saving my best friend from becoming a human calculator. And Patrick, congratulations on getting your priorities straight at last. More applause and laughter. Patrick pulls Jessica closer, kisses her temple. Want to dance, he whispers. There's no music, so we'll make some. He leads her to the center of the room. Caroline cues up a song, something soft and romantic. Other couples join them, but Patrick sees just Jessica. This is perfect, Jessica says, her head on his chest. All of it. The proposal, the party, everything. You're perfect. I'm not. Neither are you. But we're perfect together. Patrick spins her with gentle care. I love you. Have I told you that today? 17 times. Not enough. I love you, Jessica Carter, soon to be Jessica Moore. I love your strength and your stubbornness and the way you make me want to be better. I love that you challenge me and support me and call me out when I'm being an idiot. You're an idiot less often now. Only sometimes. Only sometimes. They sway to the music, surrounded by people who love them, celebrating a future that once seemed impossible. When do you want to get married? Patrick asks. Soon. I don't want a long engagement. I've waited 5 years already. Summer? We could do something outdoors. Small, just family and close friends. That sounds perfect. Simple and us. Nothing about us is simple. Jessica laughs. True, but we can try. Simple wedding, complicated marriage. Something like that. I can work with that. They dance until Ethan crashes into them, demanding group hugs. They scoop him up between them, dancing with their son, their family whole at last. Later, as the party winds down, Jessica finds herself on Caroline's terrace with Sarah and Allie. You did it, Sarah says. You got your happy ending. It's not an ending, Jessica corrects. It's a beginning. Even better, Ali says. To new beginnings with hot billionaires who grovel with perfect sincerity. They clink glasses, laughing. Through the window, Jessica can see Patrick with Ethan, teaching him some complicated handshake. Her heart swells. I'm doing this, she says, getting married, blending my life with his, letting Ethan have a father. You're building a family, Sarah says. That's what you're doing. And it's going to be beautiful, Ali adds. Messy and chaotic and beautiful, just like you. Jessica smiles. Her friends are right. This is just the beginning, and she can't wait to see what comes next, because some things are worth fighting for, and they fought for this together. The morning of her wedding, Jessica wakes to Ethan jumping on her bed. It's wedding day! It's wedding day! She laughs, pulling him down for a hug. Good morning, sweet boy. Are you excited? I'm so excited. I get to be the ring bearer. That's a very important job, the most important job, Jessica agrees. Besides marrying Daddy. That's important too, Ethan concedes, but rings are super important. Sarah pokes her head in. The bride is not allowed to hang out with the groom before the ceremony. That's bad luck. Come on, Ethan, let's get you into your suit. I have a suit, like Daddy. They leave, and Jessica lies back on her pillows, her heart full. Today, she's marrying Patrick today, 3 months since the proposal, 3 months of planning a small, intimate ceremony in the Portland Botanical Garden, 3 months of Patrick moving his life piece by piece from Seattle to Portland, 3 months of being engaged, of building their life together, of watching Ethan flourish with both parents present, and today they make it official. Ali arrives with coffee and pastries. How are you feeling? Good, nervous, happy, all of it. No cold feet, not even cool feet, warm feet, toasty feet ready to run toward that altar. Ali grins. That's my girl. Now let's get you into that dress. The ceremony is at 4 in the afternoon, when the light turns golden and soft. Jessica stands in the small room off the garden's main pavilion, looking at herself in the mirror. The dress is simple, ivory lace with a flowing skirt, off the shoulder, making her feel like herself but elevated. Sarah wove flowers into her hair. Ali clasps a delicate bracelet around her wrist. You look beautiful, Sarah whispers. Patrick's going to cry, Ali adds. I've seen the man tear up at Ethan's dinosaur explanations. He's going to lose it when he sees you. Jessica smiles. Let him cry. She plans to cry too. A knock on the door. Caroline peeks in. It's time, sweetheart. Are you ready? Jessica takes a deep breath. I'm ready. Ethan is vibrating with excitement. I think if we don't start soon, he might combust on the spot. They laugh. Jessica gathers her small bouquet of wildflowers and follows Caroline out. The garden is perfect. 30 chairs arranged in a half circle. White ribbons and flowers marking the aisle. Their closest people, Ali and her family, Sarah, Marcus and his wife, Patrick's cousins, Jessica's colleagues, Ethan's teacher. Small, intimate, just what they wanted. And at the front, Patrick stands with Ethan beside him, both in matching grey suits, both with flowers on their lapels, both looking toward her with identical expressions of love. The music starts. Jessica walks down the aisle alone, no one to give her away because she's giving herself. She chose this, chose him, chose them. With each step, Jessica feels the past fall away, the fear, the running, the years of protecting herself and Ethan alone. She's not alone anymore. Patrick stands at the end of this aisle, solid, present, changed, choosing her just as hard as she's choosing him. And Ethan beside him, their bridge, their miracle, grinning like he's won the lottery, which, in a way, they all have. Patrick's eyes fill with tears the moment he sees her. He doesn't try to hide them, just lets them fall, smiling through the emotion. When Jessica reaches him, Ethan grabs her hand. You look like a princess, Mommy. Thank you, baby. Caroline, who got ordained online just for this, stands before them. Welcome, everyone, to the wedding of Patrick and Jessica. We're here to celebrate love, not perfect love, but real love, the kind that survives mistakes and separation and fear, the kind that chooses to fight for each other every single day. She looks at Patrick and Jessica. 5 years ago, you lost each other, but you found your way back, guided by this little boy who brought you together. Today, you're not just joining your lives. You're promising to be a family. All three of you, Patrick, your vows. Patrick takes Jessica's hands. His voice shakes but holds strong. Patrick looks at Jessica, his bride, his partner, his home, and feels 9 years of history compress into this single moment. Every mistake, every lost year, every tear and triumph leads here, to her hand in his, to their son watching with proud eyes, to a future he gets to build instead of destroy. Jessica, 9 years ago, I met you in a cafe, and spilled coffee became the best mistake of my life. You challenged me, you made me laugh, you saw through every wall I built, and then I lost you because I was too scared to choose you over my family's expectations. I wasted 5 years we could have spent together, 5 years of Ethan's life I can never get back, but you gave me another chance. You let me learn how to be a father, how to be a partner, how to be the man you and Ethan deserve. I promise to choose you and Ethan over everything else, over work, over money, over comfort, over fear. I promise to be present, to listen, to keep learning. I promise to dance in the kitchen and make terrible pancakes and read the same dinosaur book 17 times without complaining. I promise to love you when it's easy and when it's hard, when we agree and when we fight. When life is beautiful and when it's messy, because you're worth fighting for. You both are, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving it. Jessica wipes her eyes. Caroline nods to her. Jessica, your vows. Jessica's voice cracks on the first word, but she pushes through. Patrick, when I met you, I thought you were this untouchable billionaire who would never see me. But you did see me. You made me feel valued and loved and important. And when that ended, when I had to leave, it broke something in me. I spent 5 years building walls, protecting myself and Ethan, convinced that love like ours didn't exist, that it was a fantasy, that men like you don't change. But you proved me wrong. You showed up. You kept showing up even when I pushed you away, even when I made it hard. You learned how to be Ethan's father, and you became my partner, not my savior, not my problem solver, but my equal, my teammate, the person I want beside me through everything life brings. I promise to trust you, to stop expecting you to leave, to build this life with you as partners. I promise to let you help without feeling like I'm losing myself, to accept your love even when it scares me. I promise to laugh with you and cry with you and raise our son together. I promise to choose us every single day, because what we have, what we fought for, is worth everything. Patrick squeezes her hands. They're both crying now. Caroline turns to Ethan. Ethan, you have a very special job. You have rings for your parents. Ethan steps forward, pulls the small pillow with the rings. He takes them with careful concentration and hands one to Patrick, one to Jessica. And Ethan, Caroline continues, your mom and dad want to make you a promise too. Jessica and Patrick kneel down to Ethan's level. Patrick speaks first. Ethan, I promise to be your dad every single day, to show up for you, to teach you things, to listen when you talk about dinosaurs for 2 hours straight. They're interesting, Ethan interjects. Everyone laughs. Jessica continues. And I promise that even though our family is changing, growing, my love for you never changes. You made me a mother. You made me brave. And now you get to see your parents together, in love, building a home for all of us. Patrick adds, we promise to be a team, all three of us, forever. They give Ethan a small chain with a pendant, 3 interlocking circles. "This is for you," Patrick says. "Mommy, Daddy, and you, together." Ethan throws his arms around both their necks. The guests wipe tears from their eyes. When they stand, Caroline smiles. "Patrick, do you take Jessica to be your wife?" "I do, with all my heart." "Jessica, do you take Patrick to be your husband?" "I do." "Then by the power vested in me by the internet and the state of Oregon, I pronounce you husband and wife. Patrick, kiss your bride. Ethan, hug your parents." Ethan crashes into them as Patrick kisses Jessica. Laughter and applause fill the garden. Cameras flash, someone cheers, and Jessica feels complete, whole, home. 1 year later, Jessica walks into their house, the one they bought together 6 months ago, and follows the sound of laughter to the kitchen. Patrick is at the stove with Ethan, attempting to make dinner. Ethan stands on his step stool, stirring something in a pot. "Careful, buddy. Not too fast." "I know how to stir, Daddy. I'm 5 now. 5-year-olds are very responsible." "Very responsible," Patrick agrees, catching Jessica's eye. His smile is warm, familiar, home. Jessica sets down her bag. The vice principal job is rewarding but exhausting. But coming home to this, to her family, makes everything worth it. "How was your day?" Patrick asks, kissing her hello. "Long. Good. We hired a new music teacher. The arts program is thriving. Because you made it happen. We made it happen. Your donations started it. Your passion sustained it." Ethan makes a gagging sound. "You guys are being mushy again. Wait until you're older." Jessica says, ruffling his hair. "You'll understand. Never. Girls are gross." Patrick and Jessica exchange amused glances. "Give him a few years." They eat dinner together at the table Patrick and Jessica built. Well, Patrick bought the wood, and Jessica supervised while Ethan helped. They talk about Ethan's day at kindergarten, about Patrick's video conference with Singapore, about Jessica's plans for next year's curriculum. It's ordinary, domestic, perfect. After dinner, Patrick does dishes while Jessica helps Ethan with his reading. Then they do bedtime together, Patrick reading the story, Jessica tucking Ethan in, both kissing him goodnight. "Love you, Mommy. Love you, Daddy. Love you too, buddy." They leave his door cracked and walk to the living room. Patrick pulls Jessica onto the couch, into his arms. She fits against his chest like she was made for this spot. "I have something to tell you," Jessica says. "Yeah? I'm pregnant." Patrick goes still. Then he pulls back to look at her face. "Pregnant? Really? Really? 8 weeks? I found out today at my physical. We're having a baby. We're having a baby." Patrick's face breaks into the biggest smile Jessica's ever seen. He kisses her, deep and slow and full of joy. "Another baby," he breathes. "Ethan's going to flip. We should tell him together. Tomorrow, maybe. He'll want to name it after a dinosaur. Probably." They sit together in comfortable silence. Patrick's hand rests on Jessica's still flat stomach. "Are you happy?" Jessica asks. I don't have words. I'm beyond happy. We're expanding our family. We're doing this together, from the beginning this time." "No running. No running," Patrick confirms. "Just us, building our life, day by day." The next morning, they tell Ethan over pancakes. Patrick's gotten better at making them. "I'm going to be a big brother." "You are," Jessica confirms. "Will the baby like dinosaurs?" "Probably. You'll teach them." "I'm very good at teaching," Ethan says with absolute confidence. "When does the baby come?" "Not for a while. Around Christmas. That's forever. It'll go fast, buddy," Patrick promises. Ethan considers this. Then, "Can we name it Tyrannosaurus?" "How about we discuss that later?" Jessica suggests diplomatically. After breakfast, Ethan runs off to play. Patrick pulls Jessica close. "Thank you," he whispers. "For what?" "For this. For our family. For giving me a second chance. for fighting for us when it would have been easier to give up, for being the most incredible partner and mother, for everything. Jessica touches his face. We fought for this together. That's what makes it work. Together, Patrick agrees. Always together. They stand in their kitchen, the home they built, the life they created, and Jessica feels gratitude so deep it aches. For the coffee spill 9 years ago, for Ethan bringing them back together, for second chances and hard choices and love that survives everything, for Patrick, who learned to put family first, for herself, who learned to trust again, for their son, who taught them both what matters. Some things are worth fighting for. And they fought for this, for morning pancakes and bedtime stories, for difficult conversations and joyful celebrations, for ordinary moments that make an extraordinary life. They fought for each other, they fought for their family, and they won. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more stories like this. Leave a like and comment below what you thought of the story. See you in the next video.